Hello everyone, welcome back to the Deep Blue. I'm not there though. Are you guys ready to see the VTuber meta? Can I get a bit of hype in chat as if it's a debut, although I know it's not? Can I get some hype? Come on. I made this special setup to kind of not be behind on the trend of this, whatever it's called, like the VTuber meta. Oh, it's nice that I can just tell you guys to do something and you guys do it, isn't it? All right, I'll show you. This is a VTuber meta currently. I think some of you guys would have seen it if you're around on Twitter. Very zoomed in, it's really not much. It's almost like kind of the same thing we usually do, except with a little bit of tilt and smart positioning, right? Yeah, just that. And so it looks like I'm talking to you guys straight. You see what I mean? Almost vertical. Yeah, I'm trying to make it seem as if like we're having a little, like, you know, when you're kind of like in a picnic and close and talking to each other sort of vibes. But there's only so much I can do with a VTuber model, right? I mean, there's only so much we can do. Anyway, everyone, welcome back to the Deep Blue. Hello, I am... Hold on, the music's a bit loud. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Deep Blue. I am Noira, the sea fox oneesan who serves live talks on the rocks, and thank you for waiting. Welcome back to the Deep Blue. It's good to see you guys back here after yesterday's horrendous moments of jump scares and all. Today we get to wind down a tad bit more over some whiskey, which I am always happy to indulge in. Welcome back to the Deep Blue. And now let me see who actually is the first here at the Deep Blue. What do you guys think of this angle? Have you guys actually seen this meta around where people just kind of tilt their VTuber tad and then make it look kind of cute? I don't know if it's working. I see that the first here is Jason, followed up by Tyrandus and Kyle, and Nika's in the fourth, and Discount Chat in the fifth. Congrats to our top 5, Jason especially being the first here at the Deep Blue. Thank you for waiting so patiently. I also see, of course, Magic Attacks on YouTube side, and Tyrandus is here as well, and Zoe, Ridgeway, Nivis, Sven, Cheese, our drunk scribe, Waros, Across 9S, and Noah, and Misery, and Victor Daniel. I also see Admiral Wolverine, and Shu, of course, Jackson, the Mad Lad. Mad Lad. It's actually Jackson the Madman, but for some reason Jackson the Mad Lad sounds funner for me to pronounce. And I also see JQT. Hi, welcome back to the Deep Blue. And Farhan. And Kurt, of course. And also Jason just casually flexing his god emote like that. And Jackson, you two, goddamn, okay, tier 3 boys. I also see, who else I see here? Nicolitsis and Pat. Why is the angle intimidating? Why is the angle why is it intimidating? Is it not cute? Come on, I see other people doing it and it's cute. I see Cashew as well, and Okara Main Yaso. Welcome back to the Deep Blue. Welcome back everyone, welcome back. Magnus, new viewer, welcome to the Deep Blue. Magnus, welcome. But yeah, come on, does it look convincing enough, as if I'm kind of just talking next to you, kind of like you know, at a picnic, right? And spring is coming up, so I mean, still a long ways. It's still like hella winter, I know. But like spring is coming up, so I figured why not? Why not? Feels like I fainted and you're picking me up. yeah. That's fair. But come on, I can't believe you guys haven't seen the VTuber meta. At least it was all over my Twitter feed. I guess it's not on yours, yeah. But yeah, I figured it'd be a cute thing to do. Do you guys prefer this tilt, or do you guys prefer the usual straight up no tilt sort of vibe. Anyway, guys, cheers, shall we? Cheers. Upside down? No. You don't get to see oneesan upside down. Cheers, guys. Good whiskey. So, I realized it. Jason, thank you for turning Mythos Our Swolling into a Tidling. Thank you for gifting that sub over on Twitch side. Thank you. If you guys notice, we now have like a leaderboard for like monthly subs. So, you know, so you guys at least have like, that's the least I can do. Give you guys flexing rights for like supporting the Deep Blue a lot, right? So, thank you for that, Jason. I've been like trying to look for ways to kind of be able to show off more that you guys are supporting me, and thus I figured the leaderboards is one part of it on Twitch side. Oh, talking about that, I meant to update our milestones this month. So look forward to that. You know, for this month we've actually achieved relatively a lot, even though it's only the start of the year, right? Oh wait, I'm watching my bitrate go up and down. Okay, the connection so far is fine, thankfully. I've done some changes on my connection side, and after stream yesterday I actually spent like another hour troubleshooting my router and my connection, basically. Hopefully we don't get any crazy ass DCs or scuff on today's stream. Don't let me jinx it. Anyway, this month has actually been quite great. There hasn't been like any crazy viral growth or anything like that, which is like the name of the game when it comes to here at the Deep Blue, right? I keep posting, and then after every post usually there are some new people who join the Deep Blue, but it's a slow and steady rate. But I think, I mean, we've got like, first of all, we got like 8K followers on Twitter, which is kind of crazy. And also I think we got like quite a lot of new subscribers on YouTube side. I'll update you guys on that probably towards the end of the month. How many followers are we at right now? 8.5K. 8.5K is quite a lot in it. Thank you for starting a hype train. Thank you. Who did that? Who started the hype train? Thank you. Not caught in traffic, but I'm here. Ah, yes, traffic. It's still like raining heavily here, by the way. Today, same thing since early morn. Floods were around again, so crazy day for me. But thankfully I managed to kind of figure my day out quite well. Except I've been quite annoyed with office work lately, but it is what it is, right? I'm trying to bitch less. You know, I feel like, because you know how I mentioned yesterday that there was like this psychological research released recently about how the more you bitch, the more annoyed you will be at that particular task that you're bitching about, or particular thing you're bitching about. I'm trying to bitch less. So usually I bitch once and then I let it go. But you know, I've been doing quite a decently good job with, I think, keeping my momentum and being productive and getting shit done throughout the whole week since the start of the year, right? But don't you just hate it when you want to get something done, but then you figure out that there's something wrong with it and it's kind of reliant on someone else, and that person is slow as hell? God damn it, don't you hate that? That was me the whole day. I was supposed to get this task done like easily, like in an hour, but then because someone fucked up and then I had to wait for them to unfuck themselves, it made me lose my whole momentum, and then I could only work on it again after work hours. Anyway, that's enough of my work rant. That's my work rant of the day. I hate it, honestly. And yeah, but it is what it is. What can I do? 10K Noira about to hit fame. I don't know. I don't think that's how fame works, Mythos. Got rain too. What, is it not raining in the Philippines? Is it not? I thought it's kind of like raining everywhere in Southeast Asia right now. Thank you for the 10 gifted. Jason, thank you for bringing in 10 new tidings into the Deep Blue. Thank you. Oh my god. And you guys are extending the hype train. Thank you for your generosity towards the Deep Blue. I just go and do that thing myself because it's fast. So the thing is, like, I can't do it myself because I don't hold the source code. So I had to work with this consultant to get shit done, and like he misunderstood me like twice, and I'm like, bro, if you don't understand what I'm saying, don't just say okay. Ask, bro. Confirm. Don't you kind of hate it when people do that? Like, you tell them, okay, here's what I need. Here's what I need help with. And you're like, do you get what I mean? And they're like, yeah. And then they do it, but then it's totally wrong. And I'm just like, bro, come on. Like, if you don't understand, just ask and double confirm. Don't like do your own thing and then it becomes a waste of time. I'm sorry. Enough with the work rants. Enough. Buff Cowboy Hellhound Demon. Hello. And Pro Butcher, what's going on? Stresses me out, but I take comfort that I'm not the problem in the moment. I know, but like the thing is, like, as someone who very much works with momentum, I hate losing my momentum with getting things done because I really want to move on to the next thing and work on the next thing, but I'm like held back by certain things that aren't particularly my fault, but I have to wait for it anyway. But it is what it is. Realistically, I mean, you gotta, at work, you work with other people, right? It is what it is. It's valid that I get mad, of course, but also it is what it is. I think I gain more from just letting it go than just sitting on it and being angry at it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I just need to get better, I think, with picking my momentum back up even when I'm unable to complete this one task. I can like move on and work on another thing, because I noticed that that's something that I'm not particularly good at. I'm amazing at getting something done, but when that's something that needs to be getting done is interrupted, I kind of don't know what to do. I'm really bad with when it comes to switching tasks, like just like how I'm bad with multitasking in general. Got your black tea vodka. Ah, gotcha, Farhan. Cheers then. Oh, my coaster. Cheers, guys, once again. Cheers. Good whiskey. I love it. Somewhat different. When I vent about something even once, kind of just feels punishing in general. I know it's not a good thing to do, but I try to zip it and not vent. Yeah, I think, sure, if you vent once, it's okay. But like, most of the times, the things that you do isn't particularly right or wrong. Most of the times, it's a matter of awareness and mindfulness, right? Like, when you're venting, do you know what you're doing and what it can do to you? That sort of thing, right? So I guess I'm not saying that it's wrong to vent or whatsoever, but like, there is merit in being aware of it, right? I'm off to that person. Sorry, Noira. It's okay, Leon. It's okay. That's why you're gonna be stuck in a house with zombies later on in the new Resident Evil. What chat did I miss? Sorry. Let me see here. Just have my shot glass on your mug on the monitor. Perfect. That's how you should be doing it, Farhad. Remember, guys, whenever you drink and whenever you remember me and pray to me before you drink, that's a little offering to the shrine. A sip of alky towards the shrine. How many cup of whiskey is Noira having so far? I think I'm only having one today because tomorrow morning I want to go to the gym. So I don't want to like... Plus, I think I want to go out drinking tomorrow as well. So I don't want to drink too much today. Neuroscience says we're not really built to multitask. World is just very loud. I know, but also like sometimes it's necessary, right? Unfortunately, in this current modern world and the current pace of working. I mean, I try to avoid multitasking, sure, and I've always been bad at multitasking, to be fair, but like it's something that I kind of just gotta deal with. I feel like thank you for completing the hype channel to Shehi. Thank you for 20 months sub. Shehi, how are you? And how's the little kiddo? How's the little kiddo? And how's the wifey? How's the family? One of us indeed. By the way, do you guys know that Shehi is a rapper in the Philippines? 420 subs. Wow. Yeah, Shehi is a rapper in the Philippines, so don't forget to check Shehi's stuff out. My favorite song from his is still called Tag. That's my forever favorite. It's the one Filipino rap song that I listen to. The one and only Tagalog song in rap that I listen to. You'll be in Indo at Feb. Okay, let's go hang, dude. Let's go hang. I met up with Shehi when we went to the Dota TI. Was it TI8, Shehi? Yeah. Oh, that was crazy. Fun stuff. Yeah, hit me up. You can hit. Let's talk on. Where do we usually talk? Facebook Messenger. I'm barely on Facebook Messenger, dude. Oh yeah, TI8 is like OG days. I'm crazy. Yeah, TI11. My bad. TI11. Whenever I try multitasking, I end up doing job A using methods to do job B. Yeah, I'm just really bad with multitasking. Like, it's to the point that usually when I'm doing something, when I'm working or like when I'm gaming, you can't really have a conversation with me. Like, I try to listen to people, but when they try to talk to me, but I literally just have to stop whatever I'm doing to kind of just, listen. HOK, that's Honor of Kings, right? I think. Damn, I didn't know you played that game. All right. Yeah, I'll hit you up on Facebook. I don't really know much about the game. The only thing I know about it is that it's MOBA, right? Victor Daniel, super chat arigato. Thank you for your offering towards the shrine. My blessing for you is you get me wasted before the date even started. Don't get wasted. My offering for you is my blessing to you is that, come on, you don't want to go too crazy with the drinks and have the day and go through the day a little bit too sluggish, hey? So my blessing to you is please drink a lot of water, and I hope that even though you have some few drinks in your system, you'll still be okay and can get through the day. Moderation, guys. Moderation is an important thing. Don't forget about that. Is Noira going to simp Leon in Resident Evil 9? I mean, I'm always simping. You know who my the person I've been simping over is recently? Tom Hiddleston. Shocker, right? He's not fictional. But Tom Hiddleston is so good looking to the point that he's almost fictional. I've been watching The Night Manager on Amazon. It's a great series. I am drinking some whiskey, Shehi. I'm drinking Japanese whiskey. My thought process is when I don't understand instructions, usually they don't explain it in a way I understand either. So try a hands-on approach to find how the instruction means in context. Yes, that's like one of the problems when it comes to, I think, delegation or like explaining something to someone. That's why I think it's very important to ask questions and make sure what their expectations are and align it. What I usually do is that when someone tells me something, I ask them, okay, what's the objective of this thing that you're telling me to do? Like the main objective, okay? And then you clarify the requirements and be like, okay, so the objective is this. And the requirements you want me to do is A, B, C. So you're saying, and then I TLDR it. And if they're okay with that and they confirm it, then that's probably the correct thing. Because that way, you can kind of confirm like basically the scope of whatever they're asking you to do. And if you do it exactly according to that and they say, oh no, that's wrong, that's not on you because they confirmed it. So really when it comes to my way of working and communications at work, I really just do. My philosophy is that you got to do everything that keeps you spot free from blame as much as possible. You just got to do all your needed due diligence. You know what I mean? Oh, thank you, Shehi. Oh my God. You speaking Indonesian? That's crazy, dude. Thank you. But yeah, work has been quite hectic lately, but I'm thankful that I get to go home and play games. And especially this week, the games we played have been so fun. Like being able to play like Digimon at the start of the week was really fun. I can't wait to play it again. And Where Wind Speed is always fun, right? Despite the jump scares that we went through yesterday. And I heard that Enfield, oh no, it's out. Enfield is out, right? I think it's out right now. However, obviously I don't want to replace my Yap streams on Thursdays. So I figured I'll just play it next week. So I look forward to that as well. Have any of you guys played it? How was Enfield? Hi there, the comparable zombie. What's going on? Just popping in for a few minutes. Well, I hope that you enjoy your few minutes here then. Hello, Luminia. How are you? I can relate to work stuff, which is a good old cover your ass. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And that's something I've always told people or taught people when they kind of work with me or in my team. I'd be like, look, the going principle is cover your ass, cover your work, like do your due diligence. If you get to do that, you'll mostly be okay. So even when someone fucks up, you don't get a share of that fuck up. You know what I mean? So because I'm at least like with my workplace, I'm surprised how many people aren't doing that. They're not that proactive, but like, of course I don't blame them because I guess it's not everyone has that sort of way of thinking. For me, it's mostly because I have a can't be fucked attitude. Like I'd rather get shit done now rather than get the blame or like some have to deal with something later on when shit goes down, you know? So I really like the idea of just covering my ass and doing the due diligence before anything happens. Hold on, I missed some chat. Thanks again for the raid yesterday. Of course, Luminia, of course. How was Blue Protocol? Are you going to try out Enfield, Luminia? Since you're playing Blue Protocol, I assume you might be interested in Enfield as well. When I went to Japan, my parents were having trouble communicating with locals, so I've practiced on how it sounds and things were smooth. Oh, are you talking about learning Japanese, Ikazan? Enfield is really great. Cutscenes are top cinema. The game seems very stable. Characters look really great, and I like how plot is starting. Seems interesting. I'm looking forward to next day so I can play more. Big bug purchase. Oh yeah, I read about that bug on Twitter. Hold on, my mic is fucking up again. Give me a second. Yeah, I heard about it. Like you can, the PayPal transactions being fucked over. I heard about it on Twitter side. Is there like, I don't mean to ask this to back it, but is there like much, is there a main difference or like any particular significant differences between Enfield and say Wuthering Waves and Zenless Zone Zero in gameplay? Because I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I prioritize plot is good, but I think when it comes to like gacha games, I'd rather gameplay because that's the core of the game. Like the plot is the supporting thing, but like the core of the game is mostly the gameplay for me and how the game runs. Yeah, like I mean, I'd say the same thing with Clear Obscure, you know? If Clear Obscure was only the gameplay and not the plot, it would feel kind of hollow like Digimon Time Stranger. Even though Digimon Time Stranger is a good game, but I do wish that the plot was a bit better. Fuck up protection beam through diligence and earnestness activate. Exactly! You understand, Akastov. Can confirm my team leader told me over the phone to do a thing, so I did it and almost lost the job because of it. Since I didn't have it on paper, he told me to do it. Yes, that's why you should always, like, one of the tips I always do, I always have is also like always have everything on writing. Chuck it in the company Slack or like whatever the fuck you use, like the chat platform, as like written confirmation that you want to do this one thing. It's the same thing, like when I delegate something, I also like give written confirmation of delegating it. So that's proof. And something I think people who don't work in intense office environments maybe don't have to deal with this much. But I happen to have certain experiences that made me this way. So I always have something as proof somewhere, have receipts somewhere. And yeah, do your due diligence. I cannot play that. I'm staying away from gacha games while pockets are crying. It's a pretty game. Yeah, fair. Gacha games are scary, man. From a level of 1 to 10, how gooner is it? Like, I know the game isn't as gooner as probably like Nikkei or something like that, but I want to know because I've never played Arknights. However, I have seen like the character designs of Arknights and they look amazing. I've honestly, like, I think taken 1 or 2 Arknight designs for inspo for my current model as well. But yeah, how gooner is it from a scale of 1 to 10? Enfield is technically not open world. It just has big interconnected maps. So like Xenozone Zero, right? Xenozone Zero is more stylish or cinematic action wise. Factorial like. Needed to make items. What do you mean by factorial like? I barely have time to play one game, but I'm still going to try Enfield eventually. 4? Oh, 4 isn't too bad. Oh, that's good to hear. That's nice. That's nice. I feel like, honestly, like I've mentioned this before, but you guys know the game CZN, Chaos Zero Nightmare, right? The one that 3D Sun plays. So CZN, according to him, is a very good game. It's unfortunate that it's a gooner game because the gameplay is really good. It's like a gacha, I think, deck building game, but the game is hella gooner. Like you have literally like most of the girls have like half body boobas, you know, boobas that cover the whole half body, and somehow they're perky as hell, so it kind of looks like it's levitating. Like the character designs are great and all, but like I wish, I don't know, I still think that too much boobs, like too big of a boobs that's like not proportional, is just not nice. Hi there, Naki. What's the most gooner game you know? Oh, I've heard about Snowbreak. Yes, I believe Snowbreak is the pioneer, one of the pioneers of a gooner game, right? It has awoken something in you. I think the only other gooner game that I know is probably Honkai? Honkai isn't that bad. Nikkei. I only know Nikkei, and Snowbreak I've heard of. Love and Deep Space for sure. And Chaos Zero Nightmare, yeah. Telaguna. Yeah, the thing is, like, I do feel like some games technically don't have to be Guna because they have a good gameplay. But, you know, being a Guna game sells more. Just like how being a VTuber that shows more skin and a little bit more loot can sell more, which is like not like judgy or anything. It's just a fact. It can sell more easier, but yeah, it's just, it is what it is. Sex sells, right? You play Nikkei? I've tried playing Nikkei. I thought the gameplay was interesting. I thought the mechanics was interesting, but then I dropped it because I couldn't with, there's too much jiggles, man. Like, come on, I just want to fucking play the game and shoot shit, not like see things jiggle for eternity. Like, I like looking at pretty fictional characters. I don't particularly like them being too sexualized, but that's my preference. Like I said, it doesn't say, I'm not saying it in a way to patronize or judge people who have other preferences. It's a preference, right? It's like the same way how I like how Love in Deep Space is sometimes with how they present their characters and certain dialogues and everything like that. But it's also too much for me with certain stuff, you know? There's a reason I dropped Love in Deep Space. I have a very low cringe tolerance, guys. It's also the same thing as isekai animes, you know? Some isekai animes are good, but sometimes like the fan service and the harem is a bit too much when I'm just like, bro, I just want to see how you fucking rule the fucking world and beat people up. Sure, get a girl or 2 or 3, but like don't make the series like 30, 40, 50% fan service, man. I just want to see you beat people up and beat demons up and everything like that. It could be like came for the plot, stay for the plot. I think unfortunately I never stayed long enough. But also like I can't really stay on gacha games for too long. Because like I mentioned, I really can't log in every day. I do not have the tenacity to log into a game every day. And that's, I think, the only, which is why I also burnt out when it came to Uma Musume, even though I thought it was a great game. And that's why I like Where Winds Meet, because you can like not log in for 3-4 days and you can come back to it. You're like Zane calling you daddy. No, I don't. Or Silas being daddy. No, daddy? What do you mean daddy? You mean kitten? No, I think that Silas calling you kitten is cringe as hell. It's to the point that I switched Silas's VA to Japanese so I can avoid the kitten. It's very cringe to me. Goddamn. I think if I wanted such things, I would prefer it not... I also don't like ASMR, right? If I wanted like something similar to ASMR or like Love and Deep Space, I'd read smut instead. I think I'd prefer that. Read a chapter how sex sells music. Nobody likes your song if they watch your videos muted. Yeah, but it is a fact as well. I mean, it's a fact that sex sells and looking... Oh yeah, sex sells. It's... I think it's just a human thing, isn't it? Which is like which is why it's still surprising how I feel like how we've known this for like the longest time that sex sells, right? But yet we still have so many apprehensions towards it as a society. Like, fuck, we're so much in denial. Like, why are we so much in denial? Like, we've had so many years of just being shown again and again that sex sells, but yes, we still keep on trying to deny it and do our best to make it sometimes even illegal. It's, yeah, that's a whole other discussion, isn't it? ROM? Yeah, ROM. Yeah, ROM. ROM was also a game, at least, that you didn't have to log into every day. I was only in ROM for the PvP. The story was whatever the fuck the story was. I don't even know what the story was. The PvP was fun, though. But yeah, I want to try Enfield, but I feel like I don't have that much confidence in probably staying with the game, but I'll give it a try anyway. I mean, I love Zenless Zone Zero as well. The style and everything, it's great, but it was too much of a time sink for me. And it was too much red dots for me. There's a new Guna game currently, an AFK game called Dragon Traveler. Oh my god. Wait, oh, an AFK. Oh my god, did you see AFK Arena have their ads being Guna as hell? AFK Arena is a pretty good game, by the way. Have you guys tried it? I reckon most of you guys have tried AFK Arena, right? I reckon AFK Arena is pretty good. Like, sometimes I think about coming back to it, you know, because it's a fun game. But the certain games I feel a bit too financially financially capped. I think that's the right word. Financially capped when it comes to progression. AFK Arena is one of those. Even though I like the gameplay, but it felt too financially capped. And some of the games are too time sink capped or time capped or grind capped, whatever you want to call it. Meaning you have to spend a bunch of hours to progress decently in a satisfying way. So I'm picky with games in that sort of sense. Like, I gotta make sure that I gotta have a feel that, okay, the progression makes sense financially and time sink wise, because time is also a currency, by the way. And if anything, you might even argue that time is more valuable than money, because with time is a currency that you can never get back. Money is. Arguably. I had the feeling of like sinking like hours into a game only to feel dissatisfied with it. It's the worst feeling. Yeah, it is the worst feeling. Chat display is acting up? Let me check. YouTube is not showing. Really? Hold on. Let me double check it. Did I not change it? Let me check. It should have shown. That's weird. Oh no, it should have shown. Huh, is something wrong? Can someone try chatting from YouTube side? Just for me to double check? Because it was showing earlier, I think. That's weird. Oh no, it's showing. It's showing. I think some people are in denial because they enjoy feeling morally superior from the outrage. That is such a human thing, isn't it? Feeling morally superior. At anything possible, by the way, not just at questionable things. I mean, look at most online dramas. That's how it is, right? Feeling morally superior because the human ego is a real thing after all. Sometimes when you're not aware of your own ego and what's going on with your own emotions and your own feelings, you find like the dumbest ways to feel morally superior to make yourself feel better. That's what happens when you're not aware of what's going on with your own self. When you're more aware, I'd like to think that you'd be able to catch such questionable actions more earlier. Try Enfield out. First cutscenes looks pretty great. Yeah, I'll try it out next week, probably. Wait. Minecraft server? Oh yeah, you're going, like, you're spending crazy time on Minecraft, Sven. Hello, Kabane. Thank you for helping me check out YouTube side. Also, I wanted to tell you guys of an update as well. So, you know how we haven't really had a merge for this model, for the 2.5 model? So I'm currently working on a merge for that with Nico, by the way, our quiet painter. So look forward to that. I'm not sure when it's gonna be done, but I'm working with him right now. It's hard to catch yourself in the moment. Yeah, that's what I mean. Being mindful matters, right? Being mindful matters so much. With a caramel coconut. What? A caramel coconut iced latte? I've never had such a thing, true demon lord. That's crazy. I just have black coffee for brekkie. Sometimes, you know, alcohol, but that's something we don't really talk about here. Talking about alcohol. I took a picture today because I realized, like, So I've been doing this thing lately at home where I put my alcohol next to my vitamins. And the people who've been visiting my place have been getting a good laugh out of it because I think they come in and they're like, why is it so ironic and why is it so stupid? Why do you do that? And I'm like, I don't know, man. It's just there on the dining table. I mean, why not? So I took a picture of it. I'll show you guys tomorrow about it. It's become a joke at home that I have my vitamins next to my alcohol. And the funny thing is, like, I also have my my liver support vitamins next to my alcohol bottles. I don't drink them together, obviously, but it's all about balance, right? Which is something that I say a lot about here, about balance, about moderation and balance. So when you drink alcohol and you destroy your body, also remember to rejuvenate it and get a little bit healthier with vitamins and you know, having an active lifestyle. It's a good reminder. I put my diet flask near my office desk and my coworkers be having wide eyes on it. Oh, is it the Noira one? Is it? Or is it a different one? Let's never support that tracks with alcohol. Yeah, I mean, I have like my fucking fish oil vitamins and was it my iron vitamins? No, I didn't put my iron vitamins there. I don't remember. It was like a bunch of stuff. Like magnesium and zinc, my magnesium and zinc supplements, I chuck them there because it's, I don't know, I think it's kind of funny. Like, I didn't realize how funny it would be when people visit my place would be. Like, They question me. They always question me, and they're like, "Why do you do this?" Liver vitamins led to the booze. I mean, you gotta remind yourself to stay healthy, right? If you're not healthy, you can't drink anymore. After all, and you gotta have your reminders to kind of live a good life so that you can live longer and enjoy things for longer. So saying that even moderation needs moderation. Moderation needs moderation. Sure, I guess. Why not? Sure. I just take one multivitamin daily. Hold on. Which is okay. Oh, my mic. Hold on. It might be my mic's cable, actually. That's fucking up. But you might want to check into the multivitamin that you take, like what it contains. I think for me, what vitamins you need to take obviously depends on, you know, your own nutrition and what you eat on a day-to-day. For example, if you don't eat much fish, then maybe taking omega-3 will do you, will go a long way. In general, I do think that some of the stuff that you should be taking is vitamin D, D3 specifically, and calcium, and you should also be taking magnesium and zinc. I think those are like some of the most important ones that we don't really get enough in our day-to-day, in the general lifestyle. Another one is, no, it's mostly that. I take vitamin B as well. Vitamin B is great for me. I feel like if you have like digestive problems, vitamin B is pretty good for you. True Demon Lord, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Alcohol or bottled therapy? What do you mean bottled therapy? Like bottle your emotions in? It's bizarre how we all see putting terrible stuff into our bodies as living life or treating ourselves. I mean, it really depends. People have like their own pleasures, right? For me, it just happens to be my vices are drinking, were drinking and smoking. Not so much the smoking part anymore, the cigarettes. We've stopped with that, thankfully. That had a crazier effect on me than alcohol. It was pretty bad for me. But I mean, it doesn't have to be. I mean, for me, drinks as of lately, it's like me and coffee, you know? Back then I used to drink coffee to wake up. But then after a while, that feeling staved off. Like I wouldn't actually wake up from coffee. It wouldn't make me more awake. So I ended up like enjoying coffee for its taste and flavor and, you know, the little moment that I have making coffee instead. Same thing with me and drinks mostly. I think it's the taste of it and the experience of it, which is why nowadays I don't really drink a lot. I mostly drink to enjoy. But yeah, I think the thing is, people assume that, yeah, living is putting stuff into your body. I think that's what the media, the mainstream media is, right? They kind of show, oh yeah, if you want to live like an extravagant lifestyle, then it involves a lot of drinking and drugs and everything like that. And for some people who are still in search of like, oh, what can make my life a little bit more colorful, they might try that out and find out that, oh, it's pretty great without having tried other things and already just laser focusing into drinking and partying and everything like that. When honestly, maybe you might actually enjoy other things outside of that, but you decided to prescribe yourself to the mainstream expectations of enjoying yourself via these frivolous, extraneous things that are possibly harmful. I'm at that point with coffee. I just drink it because I like the taste and I like how coffee smells, right? And if you make your own coffee, you'll also, I think, come to enjoy the process of making coffee. That's me. Like, I do pour over coffee. I love making my own coffee, even though it's not technically the best, but it's the whole combination of making my own coffee and drinking my coffee and like enjoying the morning. That's kind of nice. Figran, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Do you draw? Not enough. I doodle. I don't really draw that well. We all got our vices. Some have caffeine, some use alcohol. I know someone uses cheese to cope. It's all about balance. Yes, yes. My vices were the worst. Like, my vices were... You know what? I'll leave that to mystery. You guys already knew 2 of my vices. I have another vice that's pretty... I think that's pretty common for most people. Not for most people, but... I've grown out of it, but it was one of my vices back then. I'm just gonna say I had like another one, but I'll keep it a mystery. I'll leave you guys guessing. One thing for sure though, I'm not... Can I even say this? You know how I always say, don't be dependent on artificial things? I abide by that. Even if that thing, it doesn't particularly harm you. And I think you're able to live your life the best if you learn how to be, feel fulfilled and happy with yourself without artificial means. That's what I'm saying. So like the vices I've had, I've mostly dropped them. Because I think the older that I got, the more I found out how I can enjoy my life without these things. Sure, every once in a while I indulge in them, but like I don't have to anymore. Back then I used to be really bad. Whenever I went through a rough time, I would always indulge in my vices. Nowadays, not so much anymore. What trip? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Fortnite is crazy, dude. That's crazy. Depend on yourself and don't depend on anyone or anything like a leech. And that's the thing. I think don't depend on anything really. Like, you know, don't even depend on coffee if you can. Don't depend on alcohol. Don't depend on coffee. And if you can, don't depend on people. As lone wolf as that sound, I mean that in a very earnest way. Where I mean, it's totally okay to kind of be close to people and depend on them. There's a certain kindness and earnestness and sincerity to that, and plus we're social creatures after all. But also learn to just be on your own. Learn to live with your own thoughts. It can provide like such... It's really good. It's really good for you to be able to do that. Let's just put it that way. Sorry Pixie, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Kind of swamped. Fauna dude, hope you have a good day. And I hope the day lightens up for you, hey? I feel like you're staying away from plastic love. Oh, are the lyrics wrong? Don't hurry. Shit, I haven't sang that song in like the longest time. The ritual of making coffee is great. I really enjoy my coffee, but I only make it when some people come over since I don't want to drink too much. I mean, don't you? How much coffee do you usually make? I think what I usually do sometimes is that if you want to like make coffee but don't want to drink too much of it, I suggest making iced coffee, especially like Japanese iced coffee. You can look up like recipes on that, because when you do that, you can kind of save it for the next few days as well. So you don't have to drink everything in one go. You can save it for tomorrow, the day after. Now, not cold brew. I used to make cold brew, but like I think nowadays I prefer Japanese iced coffee because it's a little bit lighter than cold brew, I feel like. And it's a less arduous process as well. My vice is YouTube scavenging my interests, saving them and never watching them. Yes, that's also a thing in it. Wait, why are people calling it the Dutch angle? Why are you guys calling this angle the Dutch angle? I only know this as the VTuber meta, quote unquote. I knew you seemed a bit familiar. I came across some of your videos, maybe sometime last year. That's crazy! Which video did you find, Fikrin? Stage 2 interview. Good luck, Jackson. Guys, can we wish Jackson a good luck, please? Jackson on Twitch side. Good luck, Jackson, on your interview. Good luck. I hope that job you're interviewing for doesn't have like crazy commute times. My thoughts and I are still on bad terms, so we're still trying to work it out. And that's what matters, right? What matters is that, you know, like going from a place of, oh my god, I can't live with my own thoughts, to, okay, I'm working on it. That's also like crazy progress already. I was reading, I was skimming through Twitter and I saw this post about like someone on Reddit, I think on the therapist r/therapists or something like that. Someone asked, what's like, as a therapist, like what's the biggest thing that you see that you wish your patients did less of, or something like that, or your patients don't realize? What's the most common thing that your patients don't realize? And this therapist said that they're not giving themselves enough credit. Like, it's crazy that my patients, they do so much and they've made so much progress, but for some reason they never see themselves the way that I do. I see them as making such big progress, but they never see it that way. They discredit themselves and they don't celebrate themselves enough. And I think that's true. I think it's, you know, it's very easy for us to be hard on ourselves, but I think it's also easy to forget our own progresses. Though on the flip side, it's also very easy to fuel our own ego. I don't know. The human mind is weird, isn't it? It's complex and weird. Sometimes we're down in the ditches and we think we're like the shittiest fuck ever. Sometimes we're like high on adrenaline and we think we can beat every wrestling pro out there or something like that. You see a shonen anime and you be like, yeah, I reckon I can win in a street fight. I watch Naruto. I do that, by the way. The human mind is weird like that. I watch shonen anime and I think I can win in a street fight, okay? I watch Kengan Asura and I think I'm better than people who don't watch Kengan Asura. Like, I think I can beat them at a one-on-one. One or two cups of coffee per day, 7 hours between coffee. I have 1 cup and usually that's enough for me. 1 liter of coffee is not good, Cross9S, you're crazy. I'm not a water addict. I just need it to live and feel like shit when I go too long about it. Water is so nice, but I don't understand how some people don't seem to like water. I love water, especially ice cold water is the best damnest thing. Dutch angle is a cinema thing? Ah, I didn't know that. It's a whole opposite of life, but the opportunity is one I can't pass on. Good luck, Jackson! Tell us all about it, okay? Figuring out that inner compass? Oh, that's one of my favorite videos that I've made. Because I think when I made that video, I literally like spent my whole weekend thinking about my quote-unquote inner compass, and I immediately made that video. Thank you for stumbling across that video and checking it out. Thinking a similar question about around the same time. It makes me so happy when I see people who come here and they're like, oh yeah, no, I've watched one of your videos. It makes me feel all warm inside. Negativity is our ancestral survival instinct, literally. Yeah, I've heard about that. Like, it's a part of, you know, it's our caveman instincts and whatsoever. A lot of the stuff that we deal with nowadays is a lot of our caveman instincts, anxiety included. It's interesting how we haven't outgrown so much of it. But it also makes sense because human civilization advanced in such a fast-paced way that I reckon if any other living creature was put in a similar situation where there was like so much civilization advancement and technological innovation, they'd probably have a much harder time adapting than us humans, which is why I think like one of the biggest traits of being human is like, you know, our adaptability. And thus when I say skill issue, right, when I say that something is skill issue or you should get good with something, or when you're reminded that you should get good with something, don't doubt yourself like that. Like, imagine like the amount of adaptability and the amount of flexibility and the amount of learning that we had to do to get to this point of humanity. I mean, you were able to do it. since the days of maybe prior to the internet nowadays, and now the age of AI. So many changes. You're able to adapt with it. So don't doubt yourself when you want to like improve yourself. Of course you can. The human civilization has gone through so much, and we've managed somehow. Not the best, but we've managed. So always remind yourself that. Like when you hear "get good" or skill issue, which is something I say a lot, don't doubt yourself. It's definitely possible. And also our neural synapses, neuroplasticity. Our neuroplasticity never really slows down. So it means that physiologically, nothing's limiting you. Grew up on Jackie Chan movies. I can take on anything. That's the spirit. Lack of self-credit. Yeah. It's easy to put yourself down when you're following your dreams, but life says what you're doing is pointless. Yeah, but also I think life is mostly, everything around you can happen, right? And it's out of your control. That's why the one thing that's reliable in your life, I reckon, is like your own emotional management and your perspective on things. Like if, say, what example can I put out? All right, me, okay. People say that I could do better as a VTuber if I did ASMR, for example. Now I can see that in two ways, right? I could be like, yeah, I could actually do that. And I could do ASMR. Or two, I could be like, no, I want to do my own thing and I'm going to accept whatever consequences that's going to come with it. Or three, I could just be like, oh yeah, that means like they're complimenting my voice and I just move on. There are like, you can hear one thing from like external factors around you and it's not within your control, but how you receive it and how you interpret it and how you manage your emotions surrounding it is what you can do. I don't know. That was the only, off the top of my head, that was the only example I could think of. It's not a particularly good one, but I hope it works. Modern media be like gaslighting you to implant skills that you never have. I mean, I tell you guys to get good at shit. I'm giving you guys top love at the Deep Blue, right? Get good, skill issue. That's what I'm saying. Trumpet, thank you for bringing in 1 year titling into the Deep Blue on YouTube side. Thank you. Thank you. I think it gave me some inspiration at least to write a poem or two. Ah, that's so good to hear. Thank you for sharing too, Fikrin. It means a lot to me, truly. Good time to promote the character development video? Yeah. Character development is a choice, isn't it? It helps that a part of our adaptability comes with opposable thumbs. Oh yeah, defo. So like we can do stuff. Have you seen raccoons? What they can do with their hands? It's hilarious and it's crazy. Imagine if we were just as creative as humans are, but like born without opposable thumbs. I think it'd be so much more of a bitch to kind of get through life and innovate, hey? Gotta say, your voice is just so posh, warm, and welcoming. Oh, thank you! Well, mind if I ask what things you did to develop your voice? Nothing? I don't know. I only found out my voice is nice when I started VTubing. So I really don't know. Maybe getting older and becoming ancient is one of them. Perhaps. I have no idea. Did the cigarettes that I smoked back then affect my voice in a good way? I do not know. I have no idea. All your ASMR, all your streams are like ASMRs to me. You guys are crazy. You guys probably have a low standard for ASMR then. How should I make time to play video games? I am still stuck in Shadow of the Tomb Raider for the past 3 months. You schedule time. Here's one thing. Whenever someone says that, how do I make time for X, right, for this thing? I used to think that, how do I make time for streaming, right? And you guys have seen how relatively consistent I am with streaming. So whenever you guys are like, I don't have time or I can't make time for this, honestly, it's a skill issue. Like, if you want to make time for something, you can. Just chuck like a 1 hour block on your calendar and fucking plan around it if you want to. Hey, like for me, I found it so hard for me to kind of make time for reading, right? But then it's really just a skill issue on my side. I've just been procrastinating, and thus what my ultimatum when I really want to do something and get shit done is really to time block it, or I think some people call it time boxing. Like just chuck a 1 hour 1 hour calendar on my calendar, 1 hour block, and be like, okay, I will spend 1 hour on this shit. So yes, time block, guys. If you have troubles scheduling something or trying to do something or making time for something, time block it. I'm not a productivity guru or anything, of course. I just do. I'm just telling you guys what works for me. Way too many videos keep saying, yo, don't get comp sci degree and shite. I usually don't listen to them, but AI is getting annoying. It is. But also, like, when it comes to don't get comp sci degree, I don't know what the current state of education is like. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm gonna be real, like the shit I learned from university I use 0% of it. I think university, if anything, tertiary education or structural education structures, what it taught me was how to learn and how to observe things and also my definition of success. Because I think, which is also like a questionable thing, by the way, but yeah, it's school life, like my life in education, going through school and uni and college and everything like that. I feel like I use 0% of the knowledge. It's more so like a life experience of okay, this is how you can make friends, this is how you can learn something better, this is how you can remember things, this is how you should approach a problem, this is what you should do when this problem is actually a math problem, this is how you should try approaching it. It gave me these sort of skills rather than hard skills. Like, you think I still remember the shit I learned from geography way back when? Okay, maybe some of it, but like most of the stuff I'd Google instead, you know? There's like a level of basic knowledge, but I think it's more so living knowledge, like knowledge of how to navigate life to a certain extent that I learned through school and university. Namely Moon, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. I used to say life kept me from watching anime, especially last fall, so one of my top monthly goals in 2026 is to dedicate 1 hour per day on current season. There you go. Love that consistency plan for you, Mint. Love that. Is being modest about my voice? I really did nothing to my voice. I don't know. And yeah, I mentioned that I've made videos before, like 7 years ago, right? And people in chat and in the comments complimented my voice, but I thought it was just people being like, oh my god, it's a girl on the internet. That's what I thought. Okay, it was only when I became a VTuber that I started getting comments about my voice, and at first I thought it was just also a similar thing where it's like, oh, you guys are probably just complimenting my voice because I'm a girl on the internet. But I think by now it's gotten pretty consistent enough that I'm like, I guess my voice is pretty okay. But thank you for your compliments for my voice. I really did nothing for it. Yeah. Thank you. Other than age, I have done nothing with my voice. Maybe a mic. Maybe I got a good mic. Who knows? School teaches us how to best follow rules and take orders. I think school generally teaches you how to work, right? It teaches you... Oh, that's a whole discussion that I can unpack, honestly. I have a brain that remembers the most random things from school, but no one else does. That's also me. I remember random shit, but I don't remember the things that matter in general. When you speak, does your voice come from like head voice or chest voice? I don't know. I don't know. Head, maybe? I don't know. I think it's head, because sometimes you could hear when I try to speak more with my chest voice, but usually how I speak, I'm not really very much in control of it. But I do know that when I accidentally go on a tangent of speaking in a chest voice for too long, I tire myself out a little bit too fast with streaming, like my voice and everything. teaches you patience. Oh, patience definitely. And school definitely teaches you like patience and delayed gratification towards a certain extent, which is very important. Delayed gratification is so important. It's a very important skill for emotional management, I reckon. In my stream, in my country, rot learning is one. Wait, what do you mean rot learning? So here's what I think, okay? So schooling was kind of invented during, sure, there were educational systems way back when, but like I think the current day and age of school and curriculum is kind of built around the idea of like making, sure, teaching life to a certain extent. But also mostly they kind of teach you how to become a good worker. And jobs back then were mostly factory jobs where to be productive, you invest a certain amount of input and make a certain amount of output, right? You spend 10 hours. If the expectation is that when you work for maybe 1 hour, you can make maybe 5 parts. If you happen to work for 1 hour and make 8 parts, you're a good worker and you're hella productive. That sort of thing, right? It was very, I want to say linear, and it's very expected. Meanwhile, nowadays, I feel like the current world is, especially the current industry of work, is not so much, it's a knowledge industry, I think that's what they call it. Knowledge industry or whatsoever. Basically the output is not as measurable, or like your input and output is not as measurable as the days of like, you know, as manufacturing. Meaning, let's say you work at a tech startup, okay? How the fuck do you even measure innovation? You know, how do you measure creativity? How do you measure these sort of things? How do you measure the productivity of a programmer? It's just not as easily translatable as, you know, measuring productivity when it came to manufacturing. But so what I'm saying is that our current school systems are still stuck in that manufacturing sort of mindset. Meanwhile, the world has kind of moved on, which means that there's not particularly much critical thinking and problem solving, and not much critical thinking and problem solving in the current educational system, or like the mainstream educational system. And it kind of costs you. I guess I would argue that it kind of costs you. I think at least the school system that I experienced prioritized memory and remembering things more and following orders more than just thinking outside the box and critically thinking about something and stuff like that, which is why I was considered a fucking rebel at school. Yeah, even though I wasn't particularly rebellious, but like I just questioned a lot of things and I got on a lot of teachers' nerves. Yeah. Yeah, but I do reckon like there are school systems out there that are trying to make a difference, and they do things a little bit differently, and they value problem solving and these sort of things like critical thinking and everything a little bit more. Hi there, Ariana. Hey, still at work to the background once again. I hope you enjoy your time here, and I hope you get to work well, Ariana. Creativity can't be measured through the lens of productivity. Exactly. I have extreme fear of trying to find a job now because the last 2 jobs I had, I needed to do legal research and remedies to get out of them. Oh my god, that's so fucked up, dude. Damn. I hope your next job gets better, and I hope you don't give up. Oh, that sucks, man. That sucks. Manufacturing is still a critical portion of the economy. I agree. Somebody has to tighten the bolts in an engine. But I think the thing is, like, a good part of our industry has also shifted towards a knowledge economy. As you can see, like, the tech industry is huge, for example. Especially with the advent of the tech industry, I guess, mostly. So yeah, very much towards the knowledge industry. I was actually watching a video today about how LinkedIn is fucked up nowadays. It's actually ridiculous. Like, I was watching this video about, let's see. The video that I was watching got a little bit political, which was like, I was kind of questioning, but it was kind of saying about how the LinkedIn we see nowadays is just weird. It's so performative, and it's more so like a tool for showing a power play rather than, you know, helping people find jobs, which is like, I've never heard of that perspective before. So people are saying that LinkedIn and even like the hiring process nowadays is more of a power play, meaning, oh yeah, companies like feeling like they're in control and they get to boss people around. And I'm like, that's such a fucked up view, but I honestly haven't had the time to give it a second thought. It was just a random video I put up on as I did some exercises on my yoga mat today. Jason, thank you for your offering towards the shrine. Jason, arigato. Thank you. Thank you for your offering, Jason. Let's see, what blessing should I put upon you today? My blessing to you, Jason, is that I hope that the job that you're gonna, the job search that you're doing, I hope the job that's appealing to you will not have a crazy, rigorous, pointless interview process. I hope that the interview process is quite understandable and straightforward and doesn't require you to go back and forth a little bit too much. That is my blessing to you, Jason. That's my blessing to you. Tell me if it comes true. But yeah, LinkedIn is probably like the most performative platform, the most performative social media platform. It's wild, isn't it? Like, I had a few days ago, I was actually indulging myself in some of these LinkedIn, ridiculous LinkedIn post videos. It's weird. It's very weird. What's crazy is that I was in that phase before, because I was in certain industries that required a strong LinkedIn presence. I also used to write on LinkedIn quite often, and a few of my articles have gone viral, one or two, not too much. And yeah, LinkedIn was so fucking performative. It's crazier than managing social media as a VTuber. I've been thinking about it lately, about how ridiculously performative sometimes the general like professional industry is. But alas, that's how it is, right? That's the current day and age, the age of performativeness. At least I hope that. I feel like with the current generation, though, people are less performative when it comes to, say, their job or being quote unquote professional. Because for me personally, like, I've tried being as performative as possible when it came to work, right? I couldn't live with myself, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. That's why at work, like, I know how to be professional, but I also do it in a way that I'm still kind of sincere to myself. Like, if I don't agree with something, I still voice it out. And I'm not gonna act like a fucking, like I know everything. And I'm not gonna act like, I don't know. The thing is, like, even with my usual workplace, I'm very casual and everything like that. Other people are more professional than I am. And thankfully, I work in an industry where that's acceptable, because I think like after a while, I just couldn't do it, man. It's tiring. Being performative is so tiring, dude. More performative than being a VTuber on Twitch. It is. My previous job also needed me to puff myself up on LinkedIn. So glad I don't need to do that anymore. Yeah, I remember the days of whenever you move jobs, I think you gotta be like, oh yeah, thank you for the opportunity. I have now moved on to this new job. I am now an official ex-Googler or something like that, where you kind of had to announce every progress of your working life to the masses, because I don't know, that was so weird. My mother told me that this era and the generation today is going to suffer the most when it comes to its economy. I mean, it's always like that though, isn't it? Like the current economy is always worse than the previous somewhat. It's always how it is. Like, I always feel like older people or like the older generation is always going to shit on the current generation. I wonder why it's like that. Has there ever been a time where the older generation has been like, yeah, nah, you have it good. Yeah, this is nice. I don't think so. I think that there's always like a back in my days, right? I mean, even I do that, okay? I'd be like, back in my days, haha, you didn't have AI, okay? Back in my days, you had to Google everything. Haha, back in my days, you don't know how crazy websites were on fucking Geocities and shit like that, you know? Back in my days, the internet connection was a fucking dial-up modem, you know? I feel like the older generation is always like that. It's one way to kind of have a one-up on the current generation, I guess. Like, you know how we talked about, what was it? Conflating, feeding into your own ego and feeling better about yourself by putting something else down. Maybe it's the older generation's way of doing that. Of at least like getting some sort of satisfaction from coming from a better place, somewhat. I found a job interview a month or so ago and I felt conflicted whether or not to be more performative or more honest. I want the job, but I feel like they can tell I'm waffling. I think, honestly, it's not that I'm fully not performative when it comes to my job, but I started off very performative and then I scaled myself down to see how far I can get away with it. So I think if I could advise you, you might want to try doing that. Like, try being hella performative and then adjust accordingly. That's like the general rule of thumb with most things, I think, in life, at least for me. I try to do it the proper way always. And then once I understand it, I scale it down and see how far I can scale it down for it to be comfortable for me. That's how I stay, if you want to put it, quote unquote, authentic to myself. Can't wait for the day I say back in my day to my nephews and future family gatherings just to mess with them. Yeah. Back in my days, Google was a local temple and you had to go through scrolls of papyrus to find what you wanted to read. Now you feel extremely ancient. Honestly, even the shit that I said just now wasn't like too ancient, man. They're still like relatively recent. It's like, it's the same thing about how I feel like the Nintendo 64 is still recent. It's fucking crazy. Our concept of time is so weird. Or at least my concept of relative time is very weird. Back in my day, we didn't have any of this newfangled YouTube nonsense. We had Badger and we liked it. Oh, YouTube content back then was so good, hey? Don't you guys miss old YouTube? But then when I say old YouTube, I think it's relative to how old you guys are. So you guys in your head might be thinking of a different era of YouTube. I'm talking about like the days of like when YouTube first started off not too long ago. That kind of YouTube was so... It was so sincere and wholesome. Like, it was much less performative because people haven't figured out how to be performative on YouTube, if that makes sense. Like, the professional standard of YouTube was not established yet, so people were just like posting whatever and the algorithm was recommending whatever, and it was very wholesome. None of his productivity taper method. Back in my days, we have to go to the library, Windows 95, expedite floppy disk to store information. Oh, okay. Before they realized they had to obey my copyright law. Not so much that. I'm saying I think more so in that sort of, you know, the professional standard way, quote unquote. A lot more like you could get you could go further with much less back then, and some of it kind of pushed a lot of gems into the algorithm. Miss Smosh, PewDiePie, and Jacksepticeye. Honestly, I love where PewDiePie is right now, though. I love PewDiePie's content nowadays, like the vlogging and whatsoever. Have you guys watched his recent video of like being an animator at the Mappa studio for one day. Wow, that was so wholesome. I'd always go back to watch them, and they seem like legit people. Now everything seems like numbers and statistics now, right? I was having this conversation, right, about, I think we also had this conversation yesterday. Let's just put it this way. I feel like a lot of companies have received a downturn in their performance, and are kind of even going through that downfall because of, I think, what people call as corporate greed. Because companies nowadays, all they want to do is to get more revenues and grow, which makes sense, right? That's what we're taught. If you have a business, you grow it. And plus, growing it means, oh yeah, it's successful, and successful means, it's good. It's good for, you can flex it and you're a successful guy. I mean, why would you not want to be successful? And this has been the downfall for not even just companies, I think people as well. I think there is like this general notion in our society, or humans in general, which is like understandable and valid, but I think it's worth to take a double look at and be mindful of, that as people, as a society, as humans, we tend to think that the way to success is up, right? We think that, for example, which is valid, like I mentioned, because we've grown up with it as well. Like in school, we're taught that you need to study to get good grades, big numbers, good. And then when you have good grades, you're successful. Same thing with university. If you get good grades, it's an achievement and you're successful. In work life, a good salary, you're successful. Rich equals successful. With the company, if you start becoming an entrepreneur, if you get funding, if you get good salary, if you IPO, if your market share is good, if your value is good, your stock price is good, then success, right? Somehow we always think that the way is always up. Like if you want to put two, I think the video that I watched recently is actually Apple. And it was discussing about how Apple has changed ever since, Steve Jobs isn't there anymore. I'm saying this from a very, I think as much as possible, I want to be factual about it. But basically what happened, the TLDR, is that back then, when Steve Jobs was around, Steve Jobs was I think you could put it, quite an idealist, right? He would kind of push for certain ideas that weren't as popular, but he knows is good for the users a lot of the times. Arguable, but I'm trying to simplify it, right? TLDR. Steve Jobs would push design ideas even though like it was ahead of its time back then, at the cost and the risks of finances. Meanwhile, Tim Cook, who is the current CEO, is just, you can put it as if he's a financial genius. He worked out Apple's finances and everything like that. Now, so that's why like back then Apple had a lot of innovations, had a lot of like good releases and everything like that, and users loved them, like customers loved them. They were like the image and epitome of innovation back then, especially if you watch their ads. I used to do a case study on Apple actually back then for university, and the shit they did was really crazy, like amazing stuff. Like their ads, I love their ads. Yeah, they were like the face of innovation. But then after Steve Jobs wasn't around anymore, Tim Cook took over, and he's a finance guy, right? Can you blame him? Because he's a finance guy, he slowly started to recruit more finance people within the executive board and the C-level. So basically management and the CEO and the management became more focused on numbers going up and performance instead. And it showed in the stock price, like performance went up, revenues went up, right? But at the cost of course, like, innovation, if you want to put it that way. And everything else. That's why like you have people leaving the company, and like design. I'm not gonna say much about Apple nowadays, but you guys can have your own observations about it. You can at least say that it's a fact that the Steve Jobs era and after are like two very different contrasting things, right? Marie B, thank you for the sub on YouTube side. So these are just facts, right? You may say that even, no, current Apple is doing pretty good whatsoever. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm saying is that it always seems to be the default to assume that the only way forward is up, which becomes inevitable when you get investors. Meanwhile, on the side, you have Steam, like Valve, where I don't think they never went to IPO and everything like that, meaning like they get to do what they want a bit more, right? I'm not gonna, of course, like they have their own things that are quite questionable and everything like that, but I think in an ideal world, I do wish that people would realize a bit more that the only way is not up. Just because you have something, to be successful, it doesn't mean to just grow the numbers and expand and earn more revenue. I think, why does it have to be that way? I think that's what my question is. Do you guys think that that really is the only definition of success? That is the only way of pushing forward? I understand when it comes to like investors and everything like that. Like investors, of course, want more return on their money and want more revenues. And I mean, think about it. Like the stock market and everything, you always have forecasts of companies growing X%. Sometimes at the back of my head, I'm like, what? Are we expecting too much? Like we're always expecting growth and growth and growth, but like, and growth mostly means growth in revenue, but why can't we measure success in other terms, such as contributing to the society a bit more, or like putting out innovative products in these sort of ways, which usually doesn't really go as hand in hand with revenues, right? But this is of course like me thinking from the other side of it, which is, you could say, a bit unrealistic, of course, but I think it's sometimes some companies get away with it. That's what I was saying. Like Steve, sometimes they can. Some companies with certain owners, CEOs, they get away with not getting trapped in the rat race. Like my friend, I've mentioned this before in a previous stream. I think like this idea came from like me talking to a friend of mine who's an entrepreneur, and he's doing well. His company is doing well, and I'm like, did you get funding? Why aren't you guys getting funding? Like investment, because for you guys who don't know, he's in the tech startup industry, by the way. In the tech startup industry, usually there's a way of progressing, right? You have an idea, you bootstrap, meaning you use your own money, or you get like a seed investment. Is that what it's called? Wait. Yes? No, that's not it. What it's called. I can't remember what it's called. It's been a while. But basically, or you get like an investment during your ideation phase, or sometimes you do it, sometimes you bootstrap it from your garage or whatever. And then like once you make sales and once you get stats to show, you get investment to grow. And then it becomes like a constant investment thing. And then after a few investment phases, your end game is to go IPO or get acquired by a bigger company. That's usually the natural progression of things. The thing is, like, I guess before talking to my friend, I never questioned why it's like that. So I asked him, it's like, why don't you get an investor? You know, it's been a while. We've been around for a few years. And he's like, yeah, I mean, why do I have to? I mean, I'm doing well. My company's doing well. My employees are getting paid well. And the owners are, okay, we're happy with what we have. And I'm like, you're right. Why should you? So, yeah, seed funding at Series A. Thank you, Shu. I forgot. That's crazy because I've made a blog post and everything about it, but I forgot since I haven't been in the industry for a while. But yeah, because I had that conversation, I started thinking this way, where I think our idea of progression and growth is technically made up. Technically, you don't have to go through that route. You don't always have to expect numbers to go up to achieve growth and success and everything like that. Now the question is why? Why would you aim for growth when, say, you can contribute more to the society when it means maybe not that much growth? For example, what if in the pursuit of innovation you might have to sacrifice revenues a bit more? You know, why are companies that actually are within the capacity of innovating with the funds that they have not do that and instead chase growth instead? Or maybe you could do both, who knows? But like, you know, these sort of questions have been kind of, I think, my thoughts for the past few days, because why? I guess I just happened to come across write videos on YouTube. So it's been something I've kind of been casually thinking about. Success differs from person to person. I truly do not give a damn anymore. Maybe before, but now. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm also saying too. Like, that was me talking about it in a company sort of sense, right? But especially when it comes to an individual person as well. We've always assumed that the only way is up, right? Which is not necessarily true. Which is also why I think a lot of us have a lot of midlife crises or like life crises quite often. Because you think, oh, what the fuck am I doing with life? I see other people like being successful and everything, and that is the imagery of success. What am I doing? When sometimes we don't stop and think and be like, why is that the idea of success? Why is that the imagery of success? Is it just because everyone else thinks so? Is it really what I really want? You know, yeah, sometimes we gotta stop and think about that. Sometimes we gotta be mindful and aware that the external idea of success is sometimes irrelevant to our idea of success. At least that's what I think. we are kind of given this idea of success from the people around us in the society because we've kind of been brought up in that way with that sort of media, right? To the point that we forget that it's definitely possible to have a different idea of success internally. Money will speak louder than any opinion could. Yeah, power, ego, capitalism, sure. To have a parent. I wish my parents and older relatives gave up on the idea of quantitative financial success as the only metrics of making it. Yeah, we got gaslit by powers that we... Yeah, I know. But I think it's also unrealistic to kind of expect everyone else to be able to see this way. I mean, not that I'm speaking from a high horse or anything like that. It's just that their point of view is also valid with whatever's been going on since like way back when, right? It's just a societal trend. Can you really blame them for thinking that way if they've always like kind of been brought up that way? Or been brought up in a society that has such expectations? Or sometimes, you know, maybe your parents came from a less fortunate background back then, and thus like they have this very idealistic idea of success that they want, and they're living vicariously through you. It's valid, technically. But also, I think seeking your definition of success internally is also valid. And I think being able to be wise is to somehow strike the balance between the two. I think if you're able to strike the balance between the two, within like balancing the external expectations and your internal idea, you can live a pretty nice life. At least that's what I think. Growing as a person is seen as an achievement too, and staying stagnant is being a failure. I think it applies even outside of economical terms. Yes, I agree with that. Growing as a person. But growing as a person is like less numerical, right? So, yeah, it's less numerical. So growing as a person is harder to measure, hey? Mocha and William, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Sorry, I'm still catching up with the chat. Give me a tad. When you have the idea of finite and infinite games in business, I can recommend you DJ Peach Cobbler's video. It was made a while ago. Oh yeah, I would love to read up on Ubisoft. Actually, I was getting recommended a video about Ubisoft as well. I've been recommended like these videos about like, oh, greed being the downfall of X company and everything like that. And for me, it's quite intriguing because I get to see like people's analysis of like whatever happened, and it's just interesting. Money is the only tangible measure of success. Oh, that's true. It's easy to measure, right? Unlike other definitions of success. You're right, Jerison. That's probably why. Because it's the easiest way to measure definition of success, because it's numbers, right? Numbers go up. It means it's also easier to express via media and in conversation and whatsoever. So it's kind of like the most convenient definition of success. I guess you can put it that way. I always wonder what the people up there really think. It's really easy to think that they are just evil people who don't care. I truly think that the people up there are not like evil and they don't care. I think sometimes when you're like at the top of the company and you're powerful and you have like all these things, you just forget. You know, it's a very human thing, right? To forget. And to forget seeing people as people. I mean, look at what the internet does. It literally does the same thing, right? You sometimes forget to see people as people. You just see them as anonymous users on the internet. Can you really blame like people high up top for seeing people as just me consumers and numbers? And so they're not inherently evil, but I think they're just not as grounded and forget, and maybe there's just not enough reasons to remind them of how it used to be. Perhaps. Yeah, and also like sometimes they're just stuck in the rat race and they don't know how to get out. There's also that. I mean, at least like I have a few friends who are up there, right? And within these sort of positions, plus I've been in the industry and everything like that. Most of them are not evil, man. They're not. Sometimes they're just too busy that they just don't really think of other things. That's mostly the reason why. Our current idea of infinite growth is both impossible and self-destructive. I mean, technically it's possible because there are so many ways of making it possible. For example, this is a known tactic in tech industries and everything. I mean, it's numbers backed with statistics and data, right? Until you get audited, sure. But like what I'm saying is that growth can be made up as well. Like you can say that, oh yeah, we have 100% increase in sales, and then it looks good, but then you don't tell these people about how many cancellations you had. You know what I mean? Growth can be manufactured like that. So technically, I think it's possible, but the pursuit of it is unhealthy. I agree with that. Thank you, Momoka. Sorry, I'm just now getting caught up with chat. Hello, Meatpox. I think I have to skim through chat a little bit. Ruminate the way of thinking that there are numerous forms of success. I agree. I think at least like nowadays, it's becoming more common to kind of question the idea of like just mere financial success, which is good, right? So that we have more reasons or more things out there reminding us that, hey, that's not the only definition of success. These sort of things. That's one thing that's good from social media, that it introduces you to such ideas a bit more often, I think. Depending on your algorithm. If you're lucky, it would. But yeah. Fortunately, the old generation also had to absorb that societal definition of success to fit in and survive. Yeah. Same thing, I'm just as valid. We all have the same information to work with. I am actually reading a book about information right now, which is Nexus from Yuval Noah Harari, the guy who made Sapiens, and he has an interesting thing about it, which I'll talk about once I read through chat. And so the fact I now have a work from home office job, more than enough for them. Oh, yeah. Hi there, Peach. God, how are you? And to treat people how you want to treat people. How you want to be treated. I started my career in a growth at all costs bank. Then I moved to a life insurance company that was protect the policyholder at all costs. I know, right? I've also been there. Well, I guess why you're diagonal right now? Because you're hot, 45 degrees. Yeah, I'll accept that. That's a pretty good one. I was gonna say 45 degrees is not hot enough, but you know what? It can be blistering hot in tropical countries. Fair enough, Peach. Good one. Hi there, Butler Akuma and John Joku. Have a good one, nobody. Thanks for dropping by. The normal people is what makes the society function, to be honest, yet they don't treat them kindly. I find it interesting. Yeah, because I think it's so easy. You know how adaptive humans are. I always say that the biggest trait of humans is that we're very adaptable, right? That also means that sometimes when we're given different situations, we forget our old situations. That's also why I think some people just, when you get up top, you kind of dissociate and forget where you came from. That's my assumption of why it happens, because we're such adaptable creatures. Which is why I think being mindful and having awareness is such an important thing going through life, so that you don't really forget about these sort of things, right? Okay, so the book I'm reading about has an interesting thing about information. So it was trying to define what information is, right? People seem to assume that it purports that the idea, or the naive, quote-unquote naive view of the idea of information is that information is always the truth. It's like when you're trying to tell the truth, that is what information is, when that's not technically right. Information can be anything. There can be objective truth, but it doesn't have to be in the information. You could say that the apple is red, right? But then it could not, and which is the objective truth, but it is not correct for someone who's, say, it's not relatively correct to someone who's, say, like colorblind or something like that. Or you could say like one thing, like where winds meet is a good game. That's an opinion, but it's also information, but it's not particularly objective truth. So this book I'm reading right now is currently exploring the idea of objective truth, and also like our idea of reality, which is also like a different thing, right? Our idea of reality is different. One event can be a good reality for one person, or like a horrible reality for another. Easiest way is like drama, right? The same thing happens, but like you have two sides of it, or like more. Like one side is probably enjoying the drama, or like they're reaping benefits from it, the other one not so much. So that sort of thing. So it's an interesting idea, and it's like unpacking all these sort of things, and how I think the history of how we processed information within our past day and ages. What's the book called? It's called Nexus by Yuval Noah Harari. Nexus. Good book. Interesting, very intriguing discussions there. I really like the idea of questioning information and reality. Because I think, especially just like the idea that the book is putting forward, is that it's very important to question the idea of information, especially in the age where AI is becoming more common and information is being so rapidly distributed, and we don't even know sometimes how to process it, but it's just everywhere. It is the era of information. So I think it's very interesting to be able to question the idea of information and unpack it. Anyway, I just wanted to share that randomly because it popped up in my head. I haven't read enough of the book to share more about that with you guys, but I'll tell you guys more about it next time when I do. Anyway, who wanted to ask a live question? Yes, true. What live question did you have? How about you? Do you feel grounded in the sense of being a viewer from your position as a streamer? Feel grounded in the sense of being a viewer. I would like to think I'm doing my best. Because I think I always try to, with whatever I do, I try to think of it of how would it be relatively if I were in their shoes. I try to do my best with whatever I do, including streaming. So like, of course, I try to talk about things that I think might be at least interesting to talk about or listen to. I try to, when I play games, I at least try to keep it a good vibe and a good mood. And that's like the main reason why I want to always keep it a good vibe here, right? And I have certain rules. And because personally, I like the feeling of escapism, because I know how shitty real life can get, and we have enough of that. That's why I try to maintain consistent vibe throughout all streams and content, because I would like that escapism myself. Information is just the interpretation of stimuli. There's also that, but there's more to it, Jerry said. That's one part of it. At least that's what the book debates. Why are we orientationally challenged today? It is the current VTuber meta horror, that's why. Objective reality is filtered through subjective perception. Pretending either of these parts do not exist caused many an issue. Exactly. Yes, objective reality is... Yes, we should know what objective reality is and how it plays into information. Be quitting my workplace? Oh, I hope you... Wait, not yet, right? Hey, I hope you cherish the moments that you've made at the workplace, and don't forget to keep in contact with your colleagues if you had good moments with them. Like going to a party, it's horrible for me. What's horrible for you? Is that Zefu? Is it too late to start Where Winds Me? No, it's not. No tips. Just play it, man. Just do it. It's fun. Just play the game as if no one's watching. Enjoy it as much as you can. Where Winds Meet is that kind of game where it's fine not to play the meta. You can literally play the game however you want. You can min-max later if you want to do endgame content, but also endgame content is optional. You can technically just keep playing the game as a ancient Chinese citizen with martial arts power. You could just roleplay that into the endgame. Like me. I like fishing in Where Winds Meet. Every 80 is your last day. Well, I hope you had good memories at your place. Hey, Night Shadow. Sorry, was thirsty. Stream was delayed by a minute. Is the delay that bad? Try refreshing if the delay is that bad. I do notice like my bitrate actually dropping here and there. Thankfully, it's okay this far. Also, hi Kapato. Sorry, I missed your chat just now. It's been kind of fluctuating, but thankfully we're still okay here on stream. What was your question, Shu? You had a live question, right? What was it? I found there are more than one color of green for grass. Oh yeah, that is very true. It's like how I found out that there's more colors to than just, you know, light blue or deep blue when it comes to ocean waters. Yeah, I've been getting like a lot of interesting ideas in my head lately, and I'm very excited to be making my video essay for this weekend as well. I'm gonna give you guys a tease of what it is. The title that I'm gonna go with, I think, is "Don't Give Up, Be Creative," which is something I've always wondered why I enjoy stories that are kind of like that, where the person in the story is kind of has some hard limitations, but they overcome it. I enjoy those kind of stories, and I enjoy challenging myself in that way as well. I'm very stubborn in that sense. Like some people say I'm stubborn because of it. Like, there's no way you can beat a whale when you barely spend much on your character. And I'm like, I would like to raise a question. I would like to challenge that. At least I will always challenge it. It's like, you know, you guys have seen me play Elden Ring. I come out straight out of the door and I see a boss and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a shot. So it's gotta be that. That's what the video essay is gonna be about. Just get creative. No, don't give up. Don't give up. Be creative. So yeah, don't give up. Just get creative sort of vibe. Which is actually inspired partly because like I've been fanning on this basketball player for a while, who is Yuki Kawamura. Any of you guys watch the NBA? Yuki Kawamura is a guy who's like, I don't know, 175 centimeters in height, or like, that's what, 5'7"? Is that 5'7" in your American terms? Basically, he's like very small for NBA height, when people are like towering like at least 2 meters and 190 minimum and stuff like that. Like even Steph Curry was like considered relatively small compared to like other people, even though he's like what 190 centimeters. I'm a big Yuki Kawamura fan, and I've always liked him for like I think the past year, since last year, at least a year or two, and I've been wondering why. No, he's in Chicago Bulls now. He got a 2-way contract with Chicago Bulls, and I noticed that I was like thinking that he plays so well because he's limited by his height. Like I realized that after watching his stuff that he plays the way he does because he tries to do as much as he can. He knows he's limited by his height, so he tries to get creative with what he can do and does, and that results in a gameplay of basketball that's just amazing to see. And I love that. I love that so much. I love that. I love the fact that when someone is presented with hard limitations, they don't give up. They instead get creative, and that brings like some of the most innovative things. Another story about that is actually, this is all gotta be in the video on the weekend, but Roomba. Yeah, Roomba, the vacuum cleaner. So apparently Roomba was like the pioneer of vacuum cleaner or like robot vacuum cleaners in the US, right? And then they fucking filed all the patents for technology, meaning like, and nobody could use like their patented technology at all, which stunted a lot of competition and everything like that. That was until like overseas companies, like companies from China and everything, be like, yeah, now fuck your technology. I'm gonna do my own shit. I'm gonna use EV technology, LiDAR on my fucking robot vacuum cleaners at half the price or like a third of the price. And that's what they did. Some companies in China did that, and they beat the competition of Roomba, and that's why Roombas aren't as popular anymore in the robot vacuum cleaner scene. So presented with a challenge, they decided to get creative. I love that. I just love that that mentality, you know, that sort of fuck it, we ball, fuck that shit, let's do what we can. And I think it's good to remind ourselves that we can do that, because I reckon like as much as I am someone who does it, I do sometimes forget. Like sometimes when faced with adversity or like certain things that I'm like, man, I don't know what to do with this, I forget that sometimes I feel like I need a reminder to be like, hey, try looking at this another way. Try to get creative. So that's why I want to make that video, I reckon. Have a good one, Cross9S. Have a good one. Now, I don't know about that, Sven, because it might be a company-to-company sort of thing, so I can't say much about that. But I just like the whole story of, yeah, nah, don't give up, get creative. A certain amount of challenge and adversity pushes you to be better. Yeah, for sure. I do think that I've always had this belief that the people who are limited by certain things and get through it are usually like the best people to work with and the best people to talk with, because they're creative problem solvers, creative critical thinkers, you know, when they don't back out of a challenge at all, but they try their best to be creative and work around it. It's also like how lazy people are. You know how lazy people just do whatever they can to be lazy, aka they will, I'm kind of guilty of it as well, because they think that something is so mendokusai or like fucking just, it's too bothersome, they try to make it as easy as possible for them. That's the hard limitation, right? And thus they actually get creative with it and get fucking innovative. That's what I do as well, which is why I love it. And people, the places I have worked at have actually like kind of been intrigued of me doing it. But at the end of the day, I don't admit it, but I usually do whatever that is because I'm lazy, to save myself some effort later on. Yeah, so I really like people who can do that. Like in the face of hard limitations, you get creative, right? And those kind of people are the funnest to work with and the funnest to do problem solving stuff with. Like if you got to collaborate with them and you're presented with a problem or a project where you need to think together and brainstorm or workshop it, these kind of people are the best because they can freely think outside the box. So yeah, don't forget to be creative, guys. I remember automating parts of my AP classwork in high school. Yeah, I've done a lot of stuff. And yeah, a bit much. I've always been someone who explores a lot of tools, and I've been always intrigued somewhat by automation. So you can imagine, I always try to get away with everything as much as possible with automation. It's not laziness to build a path of least resistance. That's what I'm saying, right? That's what I'm saying. And as we are talking about the path of least resistance, right? Let's go off of that tangent. What's something that you guys are trying to do right now, or like are trying to do better or work on? Is there anything in particular? Give me one thing. One thing, chat. For me, I think for me, it would be just getting to do more things in my day. Have a good one, STG. Good luck for your exam. And hello, Red Samurai. Nowadays, I'm currently focusing on better ways on trying to be able to just get more things done within the day and work with the momentum that goes on and off sometimes. I want to learn how to draw because I can only draw stick figures. Totally valid. Getting back to my old workout routine. I do need to be consistent with piano. Was that before? Anyone else? Chuck in one thing that you want to be better or work on right now. Communication skills? Shy with talking with people? Alright. I'm trying to consciously organize my tasks week to week. It helps. I think I'm trying to fix my sleep schedule and my time management skills. Alright. What do you mean driving fast, Zor? Or as in you want to learn driving? Is that what you mean? Now, oh, you're back, Jackson. Sweating bullets, but if I do get your job, I'll be able to travel all of North America and get paid for it. Damn, that's crazy. Wait, your interview was quite fast, hey? Damn. Motivation and energy management. I see. Jackson, we're like talking about something you want to do right now or something you're focusing on to be better at or do more of. Trying to better converse. All right. Yeah, you got this, Jackson. You got this. Dexterity on my legs. I do Muay Thai and kicking, and generally using my legs is vital in Muay Thai. Ah, a fellow Muay Thai enjoyer. Okay, so why I mentioned this after talking about path of least resistance, I've personally found that when it comes to wanting to do things better, the easiest way to do that, on top of like, you know, we all know that procrastination is an emotional skill issue, emotional management skill issue, right? That's a TLDR of it. If you guys are like, no, it's not, or why, do your own research. I have a video about it up somewhere on YouTube, I think, how I troubleshooted my procrastination or something. Yeah, it's basically the TLDR is that procrastination and is mostly an emotional skill issue. But to support that, I found out that personally the easiest way to get myself to do things or do more of something is to make sure that the path towards it is of least resistance. For me, one of the reasons why I find it hard to do more things in the day is because sometimes when I get something done, I forget what I don't know what I want to do next. Or when I wake up, sometimes I literally forget what I want to do for the day. And then I'm just like lost. Like, what do I do? Or like, once I finish a task, I don't know what to do next. So my strategy for that since the start of the year has been like time blocking and literally like putting it on my calendar. Here's what I have to do next. So that I go into it mindless. Like, I make the whole process of doing more things within the day mindless. Do you guys do something similar for this thing that you guys are trying to do more of? Yeah, that's what works for me. And it has, like, going to the gym and thus like wearing your gym clothes early, like even though you're going to the gym at 3 p.m, you start wearing it during lunch so that you can go to the gym easier. Path of least resistance, right? For lunch we have braised salmon. Oh, you're having lunch right now? I love that you're sharing your lunch with me. I'm out of water. We're yapping so much today. You fix your cognitive loops? Yeah. I do think, I do know that some people out there actually don't have this sort of problem. Like, I know most of the people I meet, actually, they know what they have to do for the day. For me, like, for the life of me, I know it's a skill issue that I don't. Like, I have troubles with remembering what I should be doing. But also, I've decided that it's easier for me to work with it rather than kind of learn how to do better with that part of my life that I've been doing for forever. So yeah, I've just been time blocking a lot, and it's been working so much, and it's so nice to be able to do more things within the day, you know? I gain so much more energy from it. Because the more I get stuff off my backlog, the more energy I kind of feels like I reclaim back from it, if that makes sense. I don't know if you guys are similar, because I know like everyone's different, but for me, whenever I get something done, it's literally like when you get, it feels like you get EXP from finishing a quest and rewards. That's literally what it feels like to me. So it does feel like I reclaim energy or get some sort of energy boost every time I finish doing something. Sulky, I hope I'm saying your name right. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Yes, I do Muay Thai. I haven't done it in a bit because I'm going through some physiotherapy because I fucked up my right leg. But yeah, I like doing Muay Thai. And not like professionally or like seriously though. I like it as a hobby. It's really fun. I like kicking stuff. Actually, hold on guys, I'm out of water. Would you kindly wait? Let me get some more water, okay? Be right back, y'all. Be right back. I have returned. Sorry. All right, what did I miss? What did I miss? I also get a rush from completing tasks. I often do as much as possible before tiring so that I don't have to do it again. Yeah, which is why, like, I think for people who get a rush or energy from completing tasks, it sucks when that particular task that you were about to complete is delayed by one thing or another, right? Like maybe some person that you have to rely on, or be like, oh man, this person fucked up, so I have to wait a bit more before completing the task. Don't we hate that? It is what it is, so. Welcome back, Noira. Thank you, thank you. Boxing as a hobby is really fun. Yeah, boxing is fun, actually. And when I was like talking to someone, they were like saying, if you like speed, you should do boxing instead. If you like the feeling of agility and everything like that. But I'm like, yeah, but I want to kick. And I feel like kickboxing is not the same as Muay Thai. I feel like somehow Muay Thai is, I don't know, funner in a way. I don't know, man. Like one of the reasons I stick with Muay Thai is because I like kicking. Not to anybody, thank you for the follow, welcome to the Deep Blue, and also Kai and Love, thank you for the sub on YouTube side. I'm doing MMA when I was training. Yeah, martial arts is super fun, definitely. So yeah, I really enjoy Muay Thai. I do want to go back to it, but recently I can't. So I've been wanting to. One of the reasons I haven't been able to go back to being active as I was like last year is because I fucked up my right leg. It's not like an injury, but like there's something wrong with, I don't know, either the strength of it or my balancing of it, or I don't know, but it's a big thing. And I went through dry needling yesterday. If you guys don't know what that is, basically they poke your muscles to kind of bring life back to it. If you want to put it crudely, they bring blood flow supposedly back to your muscles so that it can recover better. And I went through that. It wasn't painful per se, but like the physiotherapy process as a whole was like super painful when they had to massage your muscles and everything like that. So I'm going through that, and they're telling me to not do anything other than walk and do certain recovery exercises that does not involve weights for like one whole week. Muay Thai is more about doing as much as damage to your opponent as possible. Oh yeah, I'm not that competitive with Muay Thai. I'm just happy honestly with kicking stuff. Acupuncture? No, not acupuncture. It's different from acupuncture. So it's called dry needle. You guys can look it up. It's a very nice instantaneous relief when it comes to stiff muscles. I've done it before, but like I think this one was more proper than the process I had previously. Yeah. Did you see a doctor? No, I didn't see a doctor because I know it's mostly a muscle problem, and I do know that it's a muscle and movement problem and a balancing problem as well. Like I think I've kind of had this habit of mostly whatever I do when it comes to like squats or like deadlifting and everything, I kind of somehow put most of my weight on my right leg, and now it's doing something. That's a TLDR of my current situation. It's something that I never really noticed, I think, but because I am growing ancient now, these kind of things pop up a bit more often. It's been a while actually. It's ever since I went hiking way back when, with an elevation that was like pretty high. So when I was like going down the hike, I noticed that my right leg was particularly getting very weak. And was it my right leg or left leg? Well, one of them. I think it was my right leg. And ever since then, I've been kind of having problems with it. So I think it's only now that I'm kind of like dealing with it. And I'm going through the recovery or the therapy, whatever you want to call it, to hopefully have it better and get it fully healed and build up the needed strength so that I can go back to doing the activities that I want to do again. I do boxing as a hobby partly to smack something, but also cosplay. I like Vi. Yeah, boxing is fun. I do want to try boxing. Maybe I'll do that. Most of the times I haven't been able to try boxing because I use that time up for Muay Thai instead. Epsom soaking? I haven't tried that. Acupuncture without the puncture. Oh, it is very puncture. So the needle actually, what dry needling does is that it pokes your muscle tissues that are kind of cranked up because of lactic acid or something like that, and then it helps like disperse the lactic acid or something. I don't remember like the technicalities. I think that's how she explained it to me. It's a medically approved thing. You guys can look it up. So it's quite different from acupuncture, where I think acupuncture is considered more of a traditional way of, you know, treating something. Dry needling is more of a medically backed thing. Monsoon was on my legs these past years after sparring with some of the people there. Make sure you treat whatever injuries you have though, P2 Gary. Descent is more strenuous than the actual climb. Is it strange how the descent is more strenuous than the actual climb? That's what I thought. That was my first time hiking too. The climb was crazy though. Oh my god, that place. So that mountain I hiked, it was a relatively easy hike, but it was very steep. Like, it was very high, like a 2k elevation or something. It was very high, very steep. The climb was crazy. I felt like the descent was relatively easy. Like, I could actually do a light jog for the descent, but at one point I think my legs died out. That's the thing. I think at one point my legs or my hips died out because it was just so fucking tiring, and the elevation was something. So towards the end I slowed down. It was so painful. I tried Muay Thai cooking and realized how fucked up my body was, and went on a journey of stability and mobility rehab. Yeah, that's also one of the reasons why I think I was able to figure out what was going on with me. So my right kick is great. My left kick is super fucked. And my Muay Thai trainer actually said, your left kick is, you have some, I don't know why, but like the way you're kind of bringing your leg back into position for your left kicks is really weird. It's like you always lose balance, but your right kick is fine. I'm like, huh. And I told that to my physiotherapist, and he's like, yeah, I mean, makes sense. You have balancing issues, man. So you gotta kind of work on a journey to kind of slowly build up your strength on both sides and balance it out. So this is why that's what I'm doing right now. Do you have a slip disc? I don't. I've done like scans and everything like that previously to make sure that I actually don't have like, you know, any particular structural integrity risks. And that's why I've kind of ruled out those sort of problems, and it's mostly just a balancing thing and a postural thing, I guess. Just told us the dangers of information. Hey, I did not tell you the dangers of information. I said that it's a good idea to think of what information actually is and what it means, right? I didn't say it's dangerous. Information is necessary. These injuries talks making me wince, man. Heal up, all of y'all. Yeah. Whilst you're young, whilst you're young and can recover quickly, do things that are almost exclusively young things. Like, say, do bodily contact. That's not the right word I'm looking for. Body contact sports, if you like it, do it. Because these things get a bit risky as you get old, unfortunately. Enjoy your youth, you young people. You're working, sure? Oh my god. Shu, I hope you get to wind down a tad bit, and I hope work isn't too bad for you. Have a good one, Shu. Oh my god, poor Shu. It's like, isn't it like 12 a.m. or 1 a.m. right now in Japan? It's basically a long bath. Yeah, I know, using Epsom salts, right? Maybe I should. I'll try that. I'll get some Epsom salts tomorrow and chuck it into my bathtub. Very on brand of me to soak myself in salty water. Of course you guys are young. I'm always older than you guys. And I'm always older than you guys. That's why you guys should always call me oneesan, right? That's the rule of the game here at the Deep Blue. Damn, I wanted to mention something just now that came across, but like I totally forgot about it. Let me think. What was it? I was thinking about this earlier today, right? What do you think is the biggest difference between when you grew up younger and then between prior to adulthood and adulthood? What do you think is the biggest difference? I've been trying to kind of wrap my head around what the biggest difference is between, okay, I'm gonna use the age 21, between being under 21 and then suddenly turning 21. Other than the expectations, of course, I think more so like, how different is it? I think objectively, I've come to boil it down to structure, right? At some point over our past, I've met a lot of people in my past. A lot. But whether I remember them or not is a different story. Same thing as like a lot of things that have happened in the past, and I remember a lot of things. No, I don't. I don't remember a lot of things. Correction. I've gone through a lot of things, but I may not remember them. There's that. Technically or maturity. No, I feel like objectively, like, what's the biggest difference? For me, I think when I'm thinking about it, I think the biggest difference is that when you're growing up and you're still like not particularly an adult, you're kind of guided by structures. Meaning like you're guided by school, and you know, things are kind of not given to you, but like given relatively more easily to you, or like kind of guided for you. Like there's guidance, and there's also like people pushing you in the right way. I feel like when you become an adult, that doesn't happen as much anymore. I say this like, okay, when you're growing up, when you're in school, you're kind of, if you want to explore hobbies, you don't have to proactively look for it. You can sometimes just come upon it during school activities because you happen to meet the right people within your school, or like there's this extracurricular activity that you had to take, and then you find out that you like it, right? Compared to, say, when you're older, there's much less of a chance of that happening because you don't have these structural things around you that can make that happen as easily. Does that make sense? Same thing as in like when you're in college. Most of the things that you find out you like is something that you come across. Because within these days of like, you know, school to college days, you have people around you and you have structures around you that can give you ideas, right? Meanwhile, in adulthood, because you're kind of more free to do whatsoever, to come upon these ideas, you kind of have to be more proactive. If you want to find out if you like D&D or not, it's easier to find out about it when you're in school or in college compared to in adulthood. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. It's basically the TLDR is like, I feel like there's more guidance. And there's more of a structure to kind of help you out with figuring life out. Under 21. But once you're an adult, it's the structure is more like, let's say, fair. If I want to use that word. It's more so like you do whatever. And thus you need to make a more proactive and deliberate effort to do stuff. And that is one of the biggest things I think I've observed about adulthood. You need to plan for things more, and you need to be more deliberate and proactive about things. Like if you want to meet friends or hang out with friends, you need to make the plans for it, compared to, say, when you were in school or college, it's easier to hang out with friends. Did you used to do sports at all when you were young? I always used to do sports when I was young. I was very active. I'm quite athletic, guys. At least in I always used to be rather athletic. I used to play basketball, futsal, badminton, and also used to do breaking, and I still do hip hop, by the way, like dance. I do swing dance as well now. For other activities I do now, it includes mostly Muay Thai. I would consider it a hobby. Yeah. On the side of other stuff, like sometimes I do Pilates and whatsoever. I just felt like I had more agency when I entered my 20s. Like I can actualize the goals that and once I had growing up. That's the other side of it, right? That's fair. Because I think when you're put in a structure, sure, it can guide you, but it can also limit you. That's a valid point, Cast. But on the flip side, you also have the agency to do whatever. So I guess it's good for someone who has a good idea of what they want to do. So that freedom in adulthood is great for that. But for someone who prefers the structure and guidance of whatever was previously there, they might have a hard time navigating adulthood a little bit more. And they won't revel in the freedom as much, rather they'll be lost as fuck. I feel like I was there. I feel like when I stumbled into adulthood, I felt like I was lost. Because I grew up a certain way and I didn't have particular guidance or like people kind of, let's just say I grew up in a way where I was pretty much independent. So I had to always figure things out myself. So I was kind of lost, but then I, of course, being the independent bitch that I am, I eventually figured it out. But yeah, I do notice that some people, they go into adulthood and they know what they're doing. And these are the people that we see as like, oh my God, they got their life together, you know? Hi there, Auntie. How are you? I guess there was more familiarity with my daily routine when I was younger. Some of the things I had interest in when I was younger were out of reach because the entry barrier was quite high. Gaming, cars, traveling. That's fair. That's fair. And that's why I think adulthood is somewhat like a double-edged sword, because you have the freedom, but freedom can also be many things. It can be good and bad, depending on the kind of person you are or how you grew up with or like the resources that you have, right? When you're in school, you're compacted amongst your peers. Chemical reactions happen more often when you reduce volume. And I think being surrounded, being in a position where you're just kind of officially surrounded by a lot of people for like official reasons, it's something that you need to get used to not having when you grow older. Well, I do think that objectively that's why people seek out certain things when they're older, such as maybe religious communities or like hobby communities and everything like that, because they kind of crave that sense of structured social gatherings to a certain extent. And I mean, who wouldn't? It's a great thing, isn't it? It's a great thing. It's nice, you know. Even I would think our ancestors were also in that sort of environment, right? They lived in villages and they grew up in a group and they always were in this structured social setting. So it's a natural thing to want, of course. And definitely the older you get, that gets a bit harder, and also depending on where you live as well. Especially with the current age of hyper-convenience, which I always come back to, right? It's easier to find online communities and find online people to hang out with, which is okay. But let's face it, it's not the same as having like an offline friends and an offline group of people. And for some reason, despite knowing that, we're kind of replacing it with that. Meaning we're kind of replacing certain offline group activities with online, and then we kind of don't question the cost of it and how we're losing third spaces, such as, you know, we are losing so many third spaces, man. Like, think about it. How many spaces do you have? Like, what are places right now that you can meet like people serendipitously, just random strangers? We don't really have many of those nowadays. Back then you would maybe have, you know, blockbusters, or like you had to go out to buy new music, or you had to go out at least to buy food, right? Nowadays you can kind of just get everything delivered to your home or like streamed. There are less reasons to randomly meet strangers, except when you're walking your dog, I guess. Walking your pet is one of the better ways of getting out and randomly talking to strangers. I'm good, Auntie. As I age, being born into a rich family makes life easier. I mean, doesn't it? I think if you're born into a rich family, or if you're like born into a situation where you have these financial resources. You at least don't have to worry about surviving, and that takes a lot out of the equation of navigating life. But not having that in your equation also prevents you from having certain perspectives and understanding certain perspectives and views. Just like, it's the same thing. Like, just how maybe you don't have the financial resources, that means that you would be deprived of the views of what it's like to not be just surviving. And that's why I remind you guys, I remind all of us every time that let's not forget that everyone comes from different walks of life, different backgrounds, cultures, families, different situations. So be a little bit kind. Yeah, if someone can't meet your expectation, be a bit kind. You don't know what they're currently going through or what they went through back then, and you don't know what their whole story is. Be kind, guys. Be kind for and have empathy. Be kind of differences and everything. Just a guy passing by. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Oh, crave vtuber communities? Yeah, I guess. This is why we're all here, right? A sense of community. Is that why you guys are here? A sense of community? Or are you guys here to kind of sing praises for this ancient sea fox? And accidentally stumble upon a community? Third places require you to have money? Not particularly. I mean, the park is a third place. I mean, a third space. Yeah. Or like the church is a third space. Or like, I don't know. D&D. D&D doesn't really require money to play D&D, right? Your porch is a third space. You can have strangers pass by on your porch. Kanpai, cashew. I'm out of whiskey though. I'm just drinking water now. It's true, I do meet more people walking the dog most days. Yeah. Or like if you go to the gym, you sometimes can also meet a lot of new people. But a group of hippies that do singing nights where we just get drunk and sing badly. Oh, that sounds so fun. And nice to be in a group of humans from like 20 to 80-year-olds. That sounds so wholesome, dude. That sounds so wholesome. I also feel like trust between others has also overall taken a hit over the couple of decades. Oh yeah, nah. Definitely. And I do think that part of the reason is because, of course, the internet and social media. Because I think the recent video I published, right? I mentioned how like the internet can make it seem how people are always so angry when in reality it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. High trust societies are gradually going away. I don't think so. I think some high trust societies are actually like cultural. Like they're just like that. Are they going away? Maybe. Actually, maybe you're right. Maybe because like certain interactions and certain tendencies might be replaced with online interactions instead. And when that happens, maybe the high trust society might fall apart a little bit more. Perhaps. Being in my 20s now made me realize that no matter how old you are, sometimes it's to still like doing what you like doing best, like playing Souls game or watching favorite shows like Tokusatsu. Ah, my favorite Kamen Rider, Daburu. I always get shit on by people for liking Kamen Rider Daburu. What the fuck? Yes. You know, I also saw like this Twitter post a while back that went viral. I don't know if you guys saw it, if you guys are on Twitter much. But this guy was like saying, oh, I'm 23 now or something. And I regret spending so much time like doing things like gaming so often and spending my time gaming and everything. And I wish I did less of that. Futari de hito no something raida. Raideta? Sorry, I can barely read Japanese. I can only read a bit. Raideta. Yeah, I can only read a bit, and I'm really bad with katakana specifically. Yuki MK, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. I'm specifically a Kamen Rider double fan, okay? 二つで I'm so bad at reading Japanese, y'all. Imagine local server internet for VTubers, making online communities for a local level. Online communities for a local level? You mean kind of like a local server internet for VTubers? Why? I mean, sure, any kind of community is nice, but why VTubers? I mean, local server anything is fun, I think. Congratulate the guy who wrote my test on passing. He is free now. Congratulations, guy. Yeah, that's tweet about I'm 23 something and I spend too much time gaming and everything like that. And I'm like, I can't believe, I mean, sure, I feel the same way. Like I mentioned it before, I think when I played like Where Winds Meet, I think a week ago, I said that I wish I spent more time back then not gaming so much. But it doesn't mean that I wanted like all my time that I had gaming gone. You know, let people enjoy things. Let people be young and stupid. You know, let children be children. Let young adults be young adults. I reckon that is an important part of growing old. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think the key is moderation and mindfulness. That's the key. I think the one thing that I wish that when I was younger was not that I wish I gamed less, but sorry, my mic is fucking up again. Hold on, let me hit it. Is that I wish I was more mindful with what I spent my time on. I spent my time on gaming like really badly. Like I would game 12 hours a day, by the way. And I would raid up till 5 a.m. whilst having college classes. And sure, there were a lot of fun times and everything, and I cherish the moments that I did spend, but I still feel like I should not have gamed that much. The gaming was great, but I should have been more mindful with it, you know? That's what I think. But don't try to be a top performing individual out of the box, you know? Enjoy life. Take life less seriously. Live life less seriously. And but also be mindful of it and aware about it. How did you game 12 hours and also be an athlete? I wasn't an athlete though when I was in college. I was like someone who was very into dance, but not particularly athleticism. I did dance battles and everything though. Sorry, I'm gonna Google translate that. Translate.google.com because I can't read Japanese. Famous lines from Kamen Rider Double. Huh. Wait. Heat. Metaru. Oh, that was my favorite combination. Heat and metal was so cool. And what is it that they said? I don't remember. I remember the song. The song Hard Boiled was so good. I used to always watch people's covers of it. Damn, what are the lines that they said? Yeah, Heat Metal was like my Cyclone Joker was amazing too. The default, right? I loved seeing people cosplay Cyclone Joker. Yeah. And I always found it weird to say Kamen Rider W. I always felt like W somehow is like the better way of saying it. I just started using gaming as a treat for doing my adulting. Yeah, I think also because like back then when I gamed that much, I wasn't adulting much. I think it was like me of coping with adulting and running away and procrastinating from adulting a bit. That's why later on I figured out that it's me not wanting to face and deal with my procrastination problems. That's mostly what my gaming was, I'm not gonna lie. It's me having my little escapism so that I don't have to deal with my problems. Nostalgic? Yeah, Daburu is so nostalgic. I love Kamen Rider Daburu. The one Kamen Rider I did not like is Kamen Rider Decade, the pink one. Honestly, purely because it's pink. I don't particularly like that particular shade of pink. Yeah. So we have more variety just in case the main internet becomes too corporate. Local internet lets people express their culture. Oh yeah, like local servers and everything like that. So local communities but online. But I mean, I still think that if possible, local communities like offline should still be the preferred method. But I guess like, I know that people nowadays a lot of people nowadays I have observed are much more comfortable with online interactions than they are offline, which is, I wouldn't say, I'm not going to judge it. I'm going to say it's valid because some people did grow up on the internet, right? And with the internet. I'm kind of lucky that I'm not like that. Like I can do both. Well, actually, if anything, I'm kind of worse with online interactions than I am offline. I feel like I'm really bad with Discord calls, unless it's a meeting. I'm really bad with hanging out with someone on Discord. Like I don't know when I should talk and I end up accidentally like interrupting someone. I don't know why I do that, and I can never I feel like I can never get a hang of it for some reason. But yeah, it's valid. So I do think that online communities and online interactions are necessary, but I do think that once you're comfortable with that, I would like to challenge you to slowly phase and ease into offline, offline interaction and everything, offline communities. Have a good one, Cast. I hope you enjoyed your time here at the Deep Blue. Don't get mad, but I'm watching you on my pink phone. It's okay, I'm not seeing it. I was on the internet since a young age. Yeah. That's why it's valid, right? IRL social skills are like a muscle. If you don't use it, you lose it. That is so true. That's why I think you have to be deliberate, especially as you get older. It gets more comfortable and easier for you to kind of just stick to habits. And if your habit is staying at home or gaming, it gets easier for you to just stay at home and not go out. And forget that there is some use to going out, and there's some, that humans are social creatures and we need offline interactions sometimes, face-to-face interactions. So I think you gotta have more deliberateness in going out and seeking those sort of social interactions or hanging out with friends as you get older. Hold on, let me translate that. Used to watch Kamen Rider every week when I was in elementary school. Ah, which Kamen Rider, Yuki? Dochina Kamen Rider. Is that correct? Oh my god, my Japanese, I haven't used it in a while. Dochi? Donna is how, right? Dochi. Pretty awkward and quiet around new people myself. Antisocial is not the correct word, apparently. It's asocial, right? And it's okay. It's okay if you're socially awkward. But also, like, if you don't try, you're not gonna get anywhere with it. But of course, it's up to you. It's your decision. You're an adult. Like, do you want to get better at it? I mean, we're humans. We learn from mistakes, right? We can't progress and can't have growth without mistakes. Because with mistakes, we get feedback, right? And we can only improve if we get feedback. So I also used to be, I mentioned this before, but I used to be socially awkward as well, and I had social anxiety when I was younger. And I basically, we balled it. Like, I was awkward as hell, but I figured if not now, then when? So I just went into it. I joined communities and societies, even though I was a nervous wreck and everything like that, and I tried my best. And thankfully, despite I went through like an arduous experience, but eventually I figured it out. Yeah, I've only been learning how to speak online the last 3 years, honestly. I've been a hermit for like 5 years for that. Genta, because I admire Decade. You're the opposite of me, Yuki. Do feel like I'm a bit better than I used to be. That's good. Yeah, you'll feel like when you get older, you need to be more deliberate with social activities and everything like that. But like I said, it's your decision. You guys are adults and everything. Meaning that you're free to make your own decisions and deal with your own consequences of stuff. I'm not like here, I always say this, I'm not here to kind of dictate how someone should live. I do share what certain facts there are, and I do share how I prefer to live my life, but how you do your life is obviously up to you. I find that for me, having social interactions is necessary, because when I don't have that, oh my god, it feels like there's something missing, you know? And I do inherently believe, or at least I guess it's more of a fact, that humans are social creatures. And I do think that no human can live alone, technically. Like, they'll still need some measure of social interaction. It's just that some people kind of need, maybe from a scale of 1 to 5, they need a level 5 of social interaction, and anything above that becomes a bit too draining. But then some people need like 8. You get what I mean? Yeah, to a certain extent, that's what I'm saying. Like, some people need less to fulfill their social tank. Some people need more. And some people, past a certain point, it can start feeling a bit too draining. It is what it is, but still, the fact is that we're social creatures, right? It's just that there are multiple not multiple levels, but like there are multiple variations of it depending on the person. He is currently making his own special effects. Who? DK? I can imagine what it's like to be a hermit, because in the past I was antisocial due to trust issues with people. I gullibly believe it. Invalid. Totally valid. Really, I just said fuck it and got a public facing job to burn that out of me. Yeah, I mean, it's like trial through fire, isn't it, Sloth? I tend to do that as well. Like, when I feel like I have problems with something, I tend to chuck myself into that problem and just like, if I survive, I survive. I'm that type of person as well. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. I generally wouldn't recommend it. But like, I think I happen to know myself enough that I'll survive through it, that I get to do that. I work with students. By the end of the day, I want to be left alone. And it's valid. It's valid. Men have it harder when it comes to building friendships, especially after 30. Not just men, man. I don't understand why it's a gender thing. It's literally everyone. It's really everyone. Because it's like a lot of things. Like, I've made a video about this. It's called I think I put it out as the loneliness epidemic, which actually sprouted a gender discussion as well, which honestly, I don't understand why it's the gender thing. It's a global thing that's happening to everyone. We're all like having troubles finding genuine social interactions and everything, like going past not even like 30, maybe like literally like into adulthood. Once you leave like certain structures such as like college and everything, you'll definitely have troubles like socializing and finding interactions and everything like that. It's just because of how the way society is right now, you know, how we're fueled by technology and how we have online interactions, and somehow we kind of think that it can replace offline interactions, and thus we kind of do that and then forget that, oh no, offline interactions are still kind of important along the way, you know. And that's why I say in this current environment, we just have to be more deliberate with being more social and going out a bit more and seeking these sort of interactions. And of course, like, I'm not gonna be like unrealistic about it. I'm not gonna say, oh, you're gonna meet amazing people out there, you know, give it a shot, it's gonna be fucking amazing. No, it's really RNG, right? There's good people out there, there's bad people out there. It is what it is. Sometimes you go out and maybe you feel like, oh, these people don't mesh, but it's a risk you're gonna have to take. I mean, there's not really much else you can do, right? It is what it is. It's either that or you just don't do anything at all, which decision you want to make is up to you. Have a good one, Kurt. Thanks for dropping by. Thank you. That makes sense. Both men and women have a varied difficulty when it comes to making friends. I think we all as a society are having problems with making friends right now and having interactions. And varied difficulty, it depends, I think. Yeah. It depends on the person, I feel like. Mm. Um, do you want to know what offline interactions we can miss out on we can't get online? You do want to know? There's research on it. Like literally when you meet people in real life and face to face, like certain things happen to your brain that flash up that do not happen when you're only like texting them or talking with them online. For example, you know, I think you get some boosted levels of, was it serotonin if I remember correctly? If you meet people face to face, or even like, you know, have some modicum of skinship, like you have a high five or something like that. These sort of things do certain things to your brain. You can look up the research because I don't particularly remember the researches, but I do remember there's certain serotonin spikes that happen when you meet with people and you talk with people and have interactions with people. I mean, because at the end of the day, like online interactions are literally you and a screen. If you want to put it bluntly, right? Don't you reckon? It's literally you and a screen and hopefully a person behind it. But it's still you and a screen. Decade's main actor made his original Kamen Rider on YouTube. Wait, really? I didn't know that. I need to check that out. I'm 24 and just graduated. It's a lottery for me out there now. Yeah, but it's a lottery that I think we all just have to take because there's not really any other choice. I feel like the only choice is either you give it a shot or you give up. I mean, right? Maybe you can make some certain extra actions to make the process less painful and make the RNG maybe work in your favor a little bit more. Such as, I don't know, go through communities. For example, if you feel like you might mesh with people who like you think you would mesh with people who like D&D, then maybe go to D&D events, those sort of things. You can try doing that. Or the other method is just like what I do when it comes to YouTube algorithm, right? You can't control RNG. You can only make your own chances and hope that RNG because you make your own chances, RNG has more of an opportunity to strike, which is what I do. I publish a lot of videos, and thus, because I publish a lot of videos, I hope that RNG will be more likely to strike me, and I might be lucky and something goes viral. Same shit. A lot in life is really RNG. Let's not forget that or undermine that. That's why I have a D20 tat on my hand. Going out of college and making friends with a dude starting his own cult. What? That's crazy. That's wild. But honestly, I'm also like the kind of person who doesn't really have a really set group of friends. Like, I'm more of the type of person that I go out, I meet with someone, and I enjoy the moment with them and had a good time, and then I remember them for that moment. So what I'm trying to say is, yeah, I'm friends with a lot of people, but I don't have like a particular set of friends. And I'm also someone who remembers people for the experiences that we share rather than how long we've been friends for. Does that make sense? So I could literally meet a stranger and we vibe and we have like good talks and we, you know, chemistry is there and it's just a good time. I could appreciate more compared to say my school friends from way back when who's just like totally different and we don't mesh anymore. I'm that sort of person. And which is also why I also think that the idea that you should always have like these long-term friends and everything like that. And if you don't have like a best friend, then you're failure. I think that sort of thing is like, I don't think it makes sense. I consider my measure of friendship is the experiences that I share with a person, not like the duration. If it so happens that I happen to have a lot of nice experiences over a long duration, then so be it. But it can also, at the very essence of it, it's just experiences we share. Wait, what chat did I miss? RNG shotgun approach will land that nat 20 eventually. Yes. I mean, what else can I do as a content creator on YouTube, right? Sure, I might change my dice every once in a while, but I think the most reliable method when you're trying to strike RNG, is really just to do it more. Make your own chances. Feel like we are the same type of person? Because I feel like I've been surrounded mostly by people with this idea of friendship where it's like, oh, we need a best friend. So like, you're weird if you don't have a best friend, or you're weird if you don't have like a group of friends. And I'm like, nah, fuck that. Why are you judging me for how I define my friendship? Fuck that. Before making a friend, being acquaintances at first, and depending on how you want to get to know someone, just to see how things going. Never know how things will turn out, I guess. Yeah, I mean, just be sincere about making friends. If it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. I mean, if you think about it, it's like there's a lot of people around the world. There's a lot of people nearby, near your town, in your city, whatsoever. If you don't get to be friends with one person, then it is what it is. You can go out again and try again. And it sounds, of course it sounds tiring, but there's really just, at least as I know it, that's just really how it is. And there's not really much of an alternative, is there? I did randomly swipe into one of your shorts, so it's true. What short was it, if I may know? Real friends don't need to be told they are your friends. They are just there when you need them and ask them to be. Yes, that's what I reckon. I think a lot of people just have like this very rigid idea of what a friend is, and like this. You know how sometimes you have certain expectations of what a boyfriend, girlfriend, or anything in between, like a close relationship, a partner, an SO is like from the anime or the mangas you read, or like the shoujo mangas or josei mangas or whatsoever that you read. Like, oh, maybe you play Love in Deep Space and then you have this idea of a boyfriend, of what a boyfriend will be like. But then you realize later on, harshly, that it's strictly fictional and it doesn't apply to the real world. I feel like the same thing applies to friends. Like the idea of friends that you have in mainstream media and fiction, there's like a certain idea, and then people seem to think that it applies to everyone and that should be the expectation of it, when in reality, no, it doesn't have to be. And no, it's not. Sometimes it's not realistic. Because everyone's different. Everyone has different circumstances and everything like that. And everyone can live their life their own way. So, yeah, that's what I reckon. I think like some people are too stuck up with the idea, or too focused on the idea of what a friend is, that they push friends away. I think, yeah, I used to be like that, but like, you know, this is my way of living. This is why I think this way about friends and whatsoever. It's my way of living life. Love in Deep Space, yeah. Oh my god, my Twitter, by the way, has been like fully filled with Love in Deep Space. The Love in Deep Space offline event. It's crazy. Love in Deep Space did this event where it's basically like, you know how in Disneyland you have, what do you call it? You have like people acting as certain characters and then you get to interact with them at Disneyland. So Love and Deep Space had that event and it's crazy. It's so theatrical and wild, and I've never seen anything like that. It's commendable. Very commendable. I unironically go weeks without hanging out or talking with friends sometimes because we are all grown up and life is busy for us all. But the second any of us want to do something together, we all do our best to make it work, even if it's only twice a month. Yeah, and that's okay. That's okay. I do think though, honestly, that being how social humans are inherently, as if we want to assume humans as social creatures, I do think that we technically need interactions with other humans that are more than just like friendly interactions with other humans, more than just twice a week or like twice a month, sorry. But I'm also the same. But the thing is, like, sometimes we also don't consider, we forget that friendly interactions doesn't just have to be with friends. Like, a conversation with a stranger is also included and considered as something that can boost your mood in the scope of friendly interactions and just having, whatchamacallit, just being a quote-unquote social creature. Nowadays, I feel like when planning to go out with friends is like making an appointment. It is. I literally like have to make a calendar event nowadays and invite them to it. That's what I do. I also mostly I mostly hang out with friends, I think, like twice a month, I think, or maybe sometimes more, depending on how busy I am, but usually twice a month or is the minimum. Thankfully, I do have like reasons to hang out with friends. The thing is, like, if you have a shared hobby, such as board games, or like you do sports together with friends and everything like that, you can kind of end up meeting up with your friends more. So if you want to meet up with your friends more, maybe you can consider that strategy where you're like, oh, do you guys want to do sports together, or you guys want to do wellness stuff together? So add in another part, involve your friends with another part of your schedule, because once you do that, like, let's say you go to the gym and then you be like, hey, do you want to go to the gym together? You can kind of use that gym schedule to hang out with your friend as well. That's one of the things I kind of do. I kind of just, I don't know, couple it up, or like pair it up, if you want to call it that, to kind of have more reasons more reasons to hang out with friends. Hey, the happy employee, I don't know what you've been saying, but can you chill a little? and I'd appreciate it if you stick with the topic, so it's easier for me to kind of read chat. Showing kindness is important while protecting it from people who'd use you. Oh, of course. Sincerity is important, but of course, like, establishing boundaries is just as important. I think humans need a feeling of a safe space that they are comfortable in. So just having a friend or two to be there to hang out gives a nice peace of mind, I think. Definitely. Definitely. I think there was like a study a while back that even when you're just like not doing anything with friends, like the fact that you're hanging out with friends, wait, let me reiterate on that. So there was a study recently that I read up on that if you're going through shit and then you just happen to be around with friends, even when you're not particularly talking about that thing, that it would kind of feel that you're kind of sharing the burden and kind of going through it together, and it will help you lift your mood. I think that was kind of the study, if I remember correctly. So basically, having company when you're going through shit, even though you're not like trauma dumping on your friend or anything, it can really help you with regulating your mood. Basically, a human mood regulation can depend on your company and the people you share it with. Windy Leaf, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Ancient Greeks described two types of friendship: friendship of utility and friendship of virtue. Many begin as the first, and the best end up as the second. Utility. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Friendship of utility. That's why I think, sometimes you have friends. Friendship of utility sounds like networking, which is fair. I usually like make a stark difference between like when I hit up friends because like I need their help with something, or I want their advice or something, like for utility purposes, and I hit them up in a different way when I actually want to hang out with them. And I appreciate that when people do that too. Like, I don't like it when people kind of hit me up and they be making small talk, but then only to want something from me that's for utilitarian purposes. For utility purposes. And I'm like, bro, just be straight with it, man. You didn't have to go through all this shit. I mean, it'll save us some time. Like, I like being direct like that. I mean, it gets your agenda out of the way, right? I prefer it that way. My friends now I consider more like family than friends. Oh, and that's sweet, isn't it? couldn't talk for a bit, so I just go and sit with him and chill. He said it meant so much to him. That does mean so much to people. It's like, you know, when you can kind of just hang with someone and sit in quiet. I think, yeah, there is research on that. Like I mentioned before, just like kind of feels like a sense of emotional regulation. There's some internal emotional regulation going on when you're just like in the company of someone else. And there's research pointing towards that. Look it up. I don't remember the particular research though, what it's called. Like many people, Tyler's got you covered. Oh my god, you sound like an ad, Vinny. You sound like an ad, but unfortunately links are blocked on Twitch chat. But yeah, guys, if you like these sort of talks and you want to share it with the other titlings, you can. And with the community here at the Deep Blue on our Discord at discord.gg/Noira. Anyway, what it was, you meet and interact with someone because it's beneficial to both of you. Ah, fair. That's fair. Anyway, I ought to call it. Yes, it's ending. Yeah, I gotta call it, man. It's like 12 a.m. and I have work tomorrow. And I want to go to the gym tomorrow early morning, so I can't sleep too late. Even though I napped for like 2 hours today, and I'm honestly not sleepy at all because of that. But I've gotta be, you know, disciplined on my schedule, right? Anyway, thank you everyone who dropped by the Deep Blue. I hope you enjoyed your time here at the Deep Blue. If you guys like the stream, I'd appreciate it if you drop a follow if you're on Twitch, or subscribe if you're on YouTube. And I hope you like this perspective of today's Yap stream. I usually always do this kind of thing for the Yap stream, but maybe not tilted like this. Today was a special case because I wanted to partake in the VTuber trend. Next week I'll be playing some probably Arknight's Enfield, and of course somewhere Winds Meet. And yeah, if you guys like the stream, don't forget to drop a follow if you're on Twitch, subscribe if you're on YouTube, and if you haven't already, do join into our Discord at discord.gg/Noira if you want to hang out with the community of titlings that we have and you like these sort of talks and you reckon that, oh yeah, I think people who watch Noira streams, I could probably hang with them. Yeah, come over to the Discord side. It's nice there. Diane Marcel, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. And was fun and interesting listening in. Oh, thank you. I hope you guys like the random talks and tangents that I went off on. I yapped a lot today to the point that I had to drink a lot of water. many yaps. And that's not even the end of it. I still have some video essay coming up on the weekend. Oh yeah, if you want to read up on or listen to my video essays or like the stuff that I upload. I do video essays, by the way, guys. You can come over to my YouTube at youtube.com/Noira. I usually do video essays like once every 2 weeks. You can check the previous video essays I've made, and it's all about live talks. It's all about live yaps because that's what I like yapping about. I stream 3 times per week. That's every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That's same time, same days every week, and I'm pretty consistent with it. So if you happen to be free around those time, or maybe you're at work and you want like an additional white noise in the background, you can have me, your dearest Sea Fox. That's at 10 p.m. GMT +8 if you're in Southeast Asia, 3 or 4 p.m. if you're in the EU, or 6 or 9 a.m. if you're in the US. And yeah, if you want to find out more about me, you also can via my website at noira.me. And YouTube, Discord. Oh yeah, my merch is on there too. What else? Look forward to my video essay, I guess. I don't know what else to end with. All right, let me find someone to raid into. Who shall we raid into today? Dareka. Cup of Toast, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Welcome. Let's raid into... Let me think. Oh my god, there's a lot of people online. Shit. Let's raid into Sen, who's... Wait, is she still gonna stay online though? Let me check. Oh yeah, she's still building her Gundam. Great into Sen VT since she rated us last time. Plus, I think you guys will enjoy her doing her Gundam because that's a chill time and creative time in it. Yeah. So once again, thank you everyone. For you guys who are new here, by the way, I forgot to reintroduce myself. Hi, I'm Noira, the Sea Fox oneesan who serves live talks on the rocks. And I hope I get to see you guys again next week. Yeah, because I only stream 3 times a week. But also, if you miss me, find me on YouTube or Discord. Alright, I saw White Wolf and Silver Wolf Boy. Oh, we have 2 wolves! There are 2 wolves with the new guys. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Alright, have a good one, everyone. I'll see you on the flip tide. Sayonara. Bye.